And that Spurs head coach Greg Popovich left a local restaurant in an ambulance Tuesday night after officials say they received a call for an elderly person who had fainted while eating. Not really sure of the details or how serious it is, but TMZ is reporting that Greg Popovich fainted in a restaurant and was taken by ambulance to the hospital. We'll update as we get more.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. And, man, everything we had planned had just, 7 minutes ago, TMZ tweets out an article. Greg Popovich suffers medical emergency at restaurant, taken in ambulance.
Doesn't appear to be. Now, if you read the story on TMZ, it appears that he was awake and alert when he was taken to the hospital. But their sources say, and I'm talking about TMZ sources, that Popovich appeared to still be dealing with the effects of the stroke he suffered in early November. So not good news for Greg Popovich. He'd been at the restaurant, according to the article, a couple of hours before he fainted.
And it says outside of a San Antonio steakhouse, and quite honestly, as I look at the video that they were able to obtain, I'm not really sure where this is. And I can't even really confirm, yep, that looks like Pop. Can't say that either. However, TMZ is rarely wrong. And the fact that they even say in this article, they have repeatedly reached out to the Spurs over the past 3 days for comment. And, of course, have heard nothing. So they apparently have been sitting on this for 3 days. I haven't seen anything locally. I had not heard anything. You had not heard anything. Nope. I mean, we're honest. But it does, I mean, I know, I don't want to sound too insensitive, but we spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks saying a decision has to be made sooner rather than later. And you read this and you see that video, and if that is Pop, yeah.
Well, I would assume it's again, Pop, because TMZ is usually pretty good at this. And we've reached out to several people and have nobody knew of this. So the Spurs certainly have kept this under wraps, and whatever steakhouse Pop was at or restaurant he was at must have been fairly private, and not too many people knew about it, or this stuff would have gotten out sooner than today. Apparently, again, this happened Tuesday night here in San Antonio. Well,
that's it, and I could see, especially at a lot of the higher-end steakhouses, they have those little private dining rooms. So Pop could have been in one of those. Could have. We're all speculating here.
Yeah.
Pop could have been in one of those. And so the vast majority of the people that are dining in the restaurant have no idea that Pop is in the building. Then when this happens, and, if he's, on a stretcher getting rolled out, chances are you wouldn't even have noticed that was or known that that's who it was. Now, people at the restaurant certainly would know. Whoever he was with, and typical Spurs keeping things under wrap. And for TMZ, I'm going back. TMZ, I remember because we were live on the air. Michael Jackson died. TMZ is the only people that had it. And other people are saying, well, he's not yet. Yeah, he is. But other people, we can't. TMZ say they've been reaching out to the Spurs for comment for 3 days. I don't remember the last time TMZ held a story back before going forward with it.
Well, what I'm surprised about is the fact that they did hold it for this long. TMZ.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
With this much information, and they're not getting it. Obviously, they were waiting for the Spurs to respond and give some sort of statement, but that didn't happen. But sitting on this story, and again, we know a lot of people that are tied to the Spurs pretty close, and nobody knew this happened.
No.
So this is crazy. It does say, the good news is that it non-life-threatening is what the story says. Injury or illness is what it says. And that Pop was alert and talking when he was put in the back of the ambulance.
Although the officials, according to TMZ, responded to the scene after receiving a call for an elderly person who had fainted. The patient was taken to the hospital, non-life-threatening injury, as you mentioned, talking at the time. But, and again, 2 hours at the restaurant, passes out, dehydration, all the different things that could cause somebody to pass out. But the other part, our sources, according to TMZ sources, say Popovich appeared to still be dealing with the effects of the mild stroke, which anybody that's been around a stroke victim, that's not overly surprising, especially with the other things that we have heard.
Well, I mean, what does that mean? Slurred speech?
Slurred speech,
maybe a limp,
the face, or trying to cut a steak.
Well, and
pour wine.
It's the same thing that you kind of got from the players.
Yep.
When they reported meeting with Greg Popovich, that he was still he had a difficult time with some things, and so obviously this is very serious, and we wish Pop all the best first and foremost, and would like to know more about this. But it appears that it's nothing too serious, but the fact that he fainted in a restaurant is serious enough after he's had a stroke.
Yes. And again, this kind of thing does happen all the time where people will pass out. But they're not Greg Popovich. They're not they're not Pop. And, you know, as much as we want him to get better, this is the kind of news where you're just like, whoa. And again, not to sound insensitive, but, you know, we've been talking about, all right, Pop, you got a decision to make. And hard to read this and not think that decision is being made for him if it hasn't already been made.
Well, I don't even think you're talking about the Spurs organization. It sounds like just Mother Nature.
Yep.
At this point in time is making that decision for him. He felt obviously well enough to go to a restaurant. That's good news. He got out, but the fact that he was there, and I don't know how many times he's been at a restaurant since his stroke happened, but the fact that he fainted, which could be a variety of things, who knows? But again, that's all we know. That's all TMZ knows at this point in time because, well, as usual, the Spurs kind of hunker down with stuff like this and are not going to give any information. So.
And texting with other media types, news to them too.
Yep.
So, and again, it is strange that there has been so very few Pop sightings since November or photos of Greg Popovich. Now, I know in the area where he lives, the kind of restaurants that he frequents, they probably do a really good job of making sure that Pop can come in and get in and out.
I'm sure.
And not get the paparazzi celebrity treatment. And so who knows how often he has been out, but it is odd that you haven't seen any Pop sightings, and then the one you do, there's an ambulance and a stretcher involved.
Yeah, this is it's a strange story, and obviously details to come as soon as we can get those details. But the good news is this report sounds positive, at least when it comes to Greg Popovich and his health. And look, basketball's secondary at this point in time, right? I mean, as Spurs fans, yeah, we want to see what happens moving forward. But at this point in time, basketball is completely secondary, and we just wish Greg Popovich the absolute best moving forward with this as he deals with his stroke and the after effects of such.
And any of us, as your parents get older, there's things that you deal with. And, you know, age, what do you do, right? There's things that you just can't control. So, like I said, on this Good Friday, not the way we thought we were going to talk and start this Friday show, but literally, 5 minutes before the show goes, we start, that's on TMZ. And you and I are like, holy. And then, the group chat with AJ and Rob and everybody's like, it was like, whoa, because it's whoa, right? That's the reaction that you get from it.
Well, of course it is. Nobody wants to hear that. That's the last thing you want to hear. You'd like to hear that Pop is recovered, he's 100%, and he's coming back next year. That would be the news you'd want to hear, but obviously that's not the news we're hearing today. And as soon as we get more information, because Jason and I both reaching out, seeing what we can find out. But, again, the Spurs are very difficult to deal with, and I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way, but they're going to hunker down and protect Greg Popovich and his health and what's going on there, and they do it better than anybody else.
They really do. The latest on that, we'll talk some play-in games, Spurs fans, who you need to root for tonight. We'll give you all the details as we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Phone is just blowing up right now with this Greg Popovich news. TMZ reporting Pop suffered a medical emergency at a local restaurant, apparently passed out. Ambulance was called. He left on a stretcher. There is video, although honestly in this video I can't tell what steakhouse that is or what restaurant it is. And I don't even know that you could say definitively that is Greg Popovich on the stretcher. But TMZ, they're right 99.9% of the time. And TMZ said that they've been reaching out to the Spurs for 3 days to get some sort of confirmation. So they must have double and triple and quadruple checked with their sources before even TMZ was comfortable publishing this on social media.
Yeah, I feel pretty certain that they're accurate and they're right in this thing. They have reached out to the Spurs and held it. That's the surprising thing. I mean, so they wanted to make sure that they were correct and accurate and didn't report something that wasn't true. So you have to believe that that this is accurate. And Pop again taken to a hospital via ambulance Tuesday night from a steakhouse after he'd been there a couple of hours, according to this this article. But he was talking and alert, according to the article, as he was put into the back of the ambulance.
And, again, TMZ, you read this, you go, 210 Baller tweets in, I wonder if it's real. If it's on TMZ, it's real. I mean, I'm trying to think the last time TMZ got it wrong.
Well, I have a feeling it is. The thing is, and why we're reporting this and certainly giving TMZ all the credit here, the fact that no one else in this city that covers sports knew anything about this is baffling.
Yes.
It's baffling.
I mean, I'm texting with all kinds of people right now in the local media, and nobody knew this. Nobody is saying, yeah, I knew. I just couldn't say anything. No, it's and, you know, that's the Spurs. Partly that's San Antonio. We protect our own. It is surprising, though, that nobody in the restaurant, nobody that works at the restaurant or a customer of the restaurant, and quite frankly, go watch the video and tweet us. Tell me what restaurant this is. I can't even tell from the 9-second video that TMZ has. At Joe Reinagle 210, at Jason Minix, at SA Sports Star. And again, this apparently happened on Tuesday night.
Just a crazy story on a Good Friday as we get started here today. But we'll continue to follow this the best we can and check with everybody we know and sources that we have and see if we can get you an update on this thing. But, again, we're all in the same boat. And, I'm happy Pop is okay. It sounds like everything is okay, although he is still dealing with the effects of that stroke. But the fact that this has been kept private for 3 days is just baffling in this day and age.
Yeah.
This happened 30 years ago. Okay, I understand. But these days, when everybody's got a camera, everybody's got a phone, and people are ready to share that very quickly, the fact that it's been kept quiet for 3 days is just completely baffling to me.
Well, and the TMZ has known about it, reaching out to the Spurs for 3 days. Now, we've got about 14 minutes on reaching out to the Spurs, and while the text message says delivered, no response yet from the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, I wouldn't hold your breath if I were you on getting a response from them. And look, hey, it's Pop's life. And if Pop says, look, I don't want this out, I don't want anybody knowing, I don't want it to be reported at this point in time, I mean, that's his right to do, although people are going to be concerned about Greg Popovich and what's going on here. And it would kind of be nice if it was just this happened and Pop's okay.
You know, you're right. Pop might not want that out. But when you cross into a public life and you've got a celebrity status, you kind of lose that right to privacy. We don't need specific details. Is this accurate? Yes. Is he okay? Yes. That's
it.
That's what we need to know.
Absolutely.
Fans want to know, not because they're nosy, because they care.
They care about Greg Popovich. Yeah, everybody in this town that's a Spurs fan for sure, and even if you're not, I mean, he's a legend. Not only as a head coach, but just as a fixture in San Antonio. He is one of those iconic personas, and yeah, you want to know that he's okay. All we've got to go on is what TMZ is reporting at this point in time. They say he was alert and talking when he was put into the back of the ambulance. But we don't know if he stayed at the hospital for a day or two or was released right away or what the case may be. So at this point in time, we just have to speculate.
Yep. There's play in basketball tonight. There's no easy transition.
No, this really not.
I mean, and honestly, I'm sure all of you are like me right now, a little distracted, trying to go find out what you can. Although right now, you're not going to find information under other rocks. I mean, anybody that would know, we're talking to them, and they're trying to find out information because they found out at 1:53 like we all did when TMZ put that out.
Yes, exactly. And they were just like the rest of us. Holy cow and oh.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of words on my text messages right now that I can't read on the radio.
Right.
We do have 2 play-in games tonight. Very important for the San Antonio Spurs. You got Miami taking on Atlanta. You've got Dallas taking on Memphis. Ja Morant says he's going to give it a go. He is officially a game-time decision. But these are very important games for the San Antonio Spurs when it comes to potential lottery picks. So Bobby Marks from ESPN has a little draft pick chart that he put out today. You got to understand how to read the chart. But essentially, if you're a Spurs fan, you're rooting for the Heat and the Mavs tonight. Because if Miami wins and Dallas wins, San Antonio will have Atlanta's pick and either be 12th or 13th on the ranking. That's the highest they can go with the picks available tonight. Say if Miami and Memphis win, that Atlanta pick drops down to 14 or 13. If Atlanta wins, you're screwed as far as the lottery. So you really want Miami, and I don't often say this, you got to root for the Mavericks tonight. Or you can just root for Memphis to lose, as opposed to saying you're rooting for the Mavericks to win, because I know some of you would get a rash if you actually rooted for the Mavericks.
You know, there's a pretty good shot that Atlanta and Memphis both lose tonight, especially if Ja Morant's not going to play. The way Dallas looked, the way Miami looked on Wednesday night and Tuesday, respectively, whenever those games were played, they both looked pretty good. It looked like they're not ready to call it a day. So I would say the odds are pretty good of Dallas and Miami winning tonight. So that would be the best case scenario. That's what we need to root for when it comes to the Spurs and how it benefits them. But I have a feeling these games are going to be tough. Atlanta, look, for whatever you think of Atlanta, they were embarrassed the other night in Orlando. Yep. They're going back home in front of the home folks tonight. And I would anticipate that they will play a little bit better. Whether they win or not remains to be seen, but I would assume that they'll play better. And Memphis, I think it all depends on Morant.
Yep.
And whether he plays or not. If he doesn't, I think Dallas should win this game fairly easily.
Well, and obviously they have to, but one of the reports I saw to Dallas is, how they've packed for like a week and a half because they don't plan on going back home tonight. And you have to have that kind of attitude because – the 2 winners tonight, they play a game 1 on Sunday. Winners tonight, congrats, you're the 8 seed.
Yeah.
Guess what? You get fed to the Wolves with a game 1 on Sunday with a team that's been resting all week. But the odds of the Atlanta lottery pick turning into a top 4 aren't good. But you want to give yourself the best chance. And right now, that Atlanta pick, the best chance looks like about 1.5%.
Well, but look, if you've got 2 balls in the lottery machine, that's a lot better than 1.
Well, 2 is always better than
right?
1.
So
ask Manu.
Exactly. So I think it's hey, you'd rather Atlanta lose, you'd rather get that extra ball in there and then go from there. So, going to be interesting tonight. For us here in San Antonio and for Spurs fans everywhere, it kind of makes these games at least worth paying attention to tonight. If you got family in town or whatever you're doing for the Easter weekend, but at least it's worth paying attention to.
Well, and that's what you're looking for. I mean, give me a reason to watch. Now, typical Friday night, how closely would I pay attention to these matchups if it were,
not at all?
Yeah, February. It's Friday night. I'm probably going to find some live music somewhere.
Yeah.
But knowing the importance, especially of the Atlanta game, I might have to watch that.
Sure.
Or at least pay closer attention to it. Playoffs begin. That's a whole different ball game. But at the same time, what am I going to watch? The UFL game tonight, or am I going to watch Miami and Atlanta? Right? Might have both games going, depending on how bad they are. Because Atlanta, you're right, they were embarrassed the other night, but that looked like a team that did not give a damn, that was ready for this season to be over, and maybe a little surly that they got to play one more. Because Trae Young did not look like he wanted to continue playing. I mean, he got himself kicked out of the game the other night, and, it's maybe hoping for a suspension. Oh, good, I get to the beach early.
Yeah, he acted like a 3-year-old the other night. But, again, they were embarrassed. They were simply embarrassed by the Orlando Magic. So we'll see what kind of stones they have. Will they come back and will they play tonight and play hard and not go away? But you could be right. A team like Atlanta, who knows? They may want to just call it a day and ride off into the sunset for this season. And with Eric Spoelstra coaching the Miami Heat, I would never count them out of anything.
No.
I mean, that dude, to me, right now is certainly, I was going to say the best coach in the NBA. I would definitely put him top 2.
I would say that Eric Spoelstra has been the second best coach in the NBA over the last 20 years.
Yeah, I would say that. Sure.
I mean, when you look at, and I know, and I'm seeing a comment on our YouTube, have they talked or mentioned about Pop yet? Yes. And if you're just getting by the radio, if you've seen that, we will talk about it with everything that we know, and I realize people come in and out, and if we're not talking about it, you think we don't know, but yes. We're aware of the TMZ article about Greg Popovich. But I was having this discussion the other night with a friend with Phoenix firing another coach. You look at the organizations that have had the least amount of turnover and the success that they have had. We live in a microwave society where you want that instant gratification, fix it now, let's go. But you look at the Spurs, you look at Miami, you look at Boston, and while Boston has had some changes in with their coaches, Brad Stevens has kind of been that guy for a long time, right?
Yes,
and so there's the established culture. How do you establish culture when your GM and coaches are changing out every 2 or 3 years? You just don't have it.
You don't have it, and that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams like that the owners are very impatient, and it's very difficult to do that. Look, I know everybody wants to win now, but at some point in time, you got to give a coach an opportunity to build a culture and build a team. That may take 2 or 3 years. Shouldn't take 7, but I digress. 2 or 3. A lot of these owners don't have the patience to do that, and that's a problem.
It really is a problem. If you're just getting by the radio, and Greg Popovich, Tuesday night, local steakhouse, having dinner, in there for about 2 hours, according to TMZ, and at some point after about 2 hours inside the restaurant, he fainted, passed out. Ambulance called. He left on a stretcher. When he left, according to TMZ, was alert and talkative. This happened on Tuesday night. Even TMZ noted for breaking news and being accurate. So I've got no problem crediting TMZ and going with it because they're always right. Even TMZ has apparently been sitting on this story for 3 days because they say we've repeatedly reached out to the Spurs over the past 3 days for comment. So maybe they needed more confirmation, more sources before they would put it out. Say what you want about TMZ, but they are credible when it comes to breaking news, and they do have a lot of sources. And but even them, they waited till whatever their qualifications are, 1:53 today, decided to tweet out this story with the video about Greg Popovich.
There is some speculation on our YouTube page about what restaurant that is, but I don't know, and until we confirm that, it's hard to go with it. So we'll try to do that.
Yeah,
as we go on through the show. Not that necessarily matters in the scheme of things. But
well, one of the comments, and like if the valet person at the Roost Chris over on Jones Maltzberger took it, it kind of looks like it could be that location, but I don't know.
Could be, but why would that guy or gal sit on this story unless the Spurs asked him to or her? I don't know. It baffles me with everything that we have and with people so anxious to get stuff out that they see. And look, TMZ pays money for videos like this. So, maybe that happened and whoever took this video sold it to TMZ and it was TMZ that sat on it. So who knows? But it just, when you're talking about a public restaurant like that, on a Tuesday night, I wouldn't assume that they would be overly crowded, but you never know. That this story didn't get out somehow, some way before a Friday afternoon, a good Friday afternoon at that.
And if it was that location, I know they got private dining rooms in there. So
sure.
There's a really good chance if you go right by the bar and into the back area where those private dining rooms are, everybody in the main dining, they wouldn't even have known Pop was in there.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. All the Ruth's Chris have those.
Yep.
Every restaurant I've been at, you see them in there. So,
well, most of those steakhouses.
Sure.
Yep,
they do.
For either rich people that don't want to be bothered or, when you're in one of those seminar type things with your financial advisor trying to separate you from more of their money over a good steak.
Yeah, that happens. I just went to one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure did. The best part about it was it was a free steak, at least that night.
Yes. Yeah. Well, your fees are paying for that.
Well, that's true.
But
that's a good point.
Client services.
Hey,
customer service.
You got to get free when you can.
Yes.
Though, right? I mean, if you're paying for a service and the person you're paying for that service for offers you a free steak dinner, I'm in.
Hey, don't look at your 401k right now. How about a nice ribeye?
Well, the whole point of that thing, or big point of it, was to explain the reality of what's happening with in Washington right now with tariffs and such, and the stock market. And
was there plenty of wine?
There sure was. So it didn't sound as bad as you might think it is.
From the guy that doesn't want you to take it all and put it under your mattress.
Well, true, but who's going to do that anyway?
No, you can't.
Right, so.
You can't.
Yeah, you just got to hunker down.
All right, we're still digging. Well, if we learn something new, we'll certainly pass it along immediately. In the meantime, we'll go with what we were planning on doing. Lots of NFL news coming up. How valuable is Brock Purdy? Should he settle for less just because he's the Mr. Irrelevant guy? We'll get into that coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the NBA playoffs in full swing. We'll catch you up on everything you missed.
And it's finally here. NFL Draft Week is upon us. We'll get into who's trending up, who's trending down. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. Divorce is tough. It's emotional, challenging, and can upend everything you've worked hard for. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control and protect your financial future. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about protecting what you've built, securing your assets, and ensuring you have the resources to move forward with confidence. You've worked hard for everything you have, and we're here to help safeguard it and avoid unnecessary losses. If you're serious about protecting yourself through the divorce process and securing your future, Barton & Associates is the team you need by your side. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com. You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. The San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for our home opener Sunday, April 27th at 2 when the Brahmas bring the Fiesta to the gridiron with our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas themed game. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Tickets on sale now at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you, Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
You know, even Shams didn't have the Greg Popovich story.
Nope.
He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Shams Charania tweets out 4 minutes ago, Spurs coach Greg Popovich had a medical incident at a restaurant Tuesday night. He is now home, stable, and doing fine. Pop had a mild stroke in November and missed the rest of the season.
Now, my assumption there is Shams is not crediting TMZ.
He is not, which pisses me off.
Well, maybe he got through to somebody in the Spurs organization, because that is new information. He's home, stable, and doing fine. TMZ did not have that, so my assumption is Shams got through to somebody or a source that he has within the Spurs organization, and he got that information.
In the world of crediting, though, which a lot of people are very sensitive to, including Shams, if you're tweeting that Friday afternoon, you learned about it from TMZ.
Absolutely.
And that got you to make a phone call. So he could have credited TMZ and updated.
Or first reported by. Yes.
The right way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, Jordan Schultz might have a problem with all of that. Like, I'm glad that wasn't Jordan Schultz's report, because otherwise Shams wouldn't be safe at a Starbucks. But, just saying.
Yeah. Interesting. Some new information there. So he's doing fine. He's home. And that is good news. I mean, the bottom line is that's good news because, look, at the end of the day, everybody wants Popovich to be just fine. Whether he coaches again or not, you want him to be okay and move on with life, whatever that happens to be moving forward. And at this point in time, Jason, I mean, and if this sounds insensitive, well, it just is. It sounds to me like it's time to move in a new direction.
It really – sometimes decisions are made for you, and it is insensitive. That's the world of sports. Next man up mentality. The game tells you when you're done. We've been saying on this program for weeks that Greg Popovich has earned the right to decide. But we've also said at some point a decision might have to be made for him as you're coming into this very crucial offseason with big decisions that have to be made. And with some of the available talent that could come in and be the head coach, there's 2 candidates that got fired this year from their jobs that nobody had on their bingo card as being available. And both those candidates look like they would be good fits, maybe great fits in San Antonio. And if the Spurs had any interest in those 2, they would have to have clear direction from Greg Popovich on where they're going, because I can almost tell you there's no way Taylor Jenkins or Mike Malone would even talk with Peter Holt or RC or anybody about the job if Greg Popovich still had it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to believe that there's already been conversations with somebody or with a few people that are out of a job or maybe still have a job and are looking to make a change. Either way, I have to believe this look, Pop just does not look like he's in the shape health-wise to take on an 82-game schedule and travel 41 to 41 away games. It doesn't seem like it to me, but that's just judging by this, judging from what the players said a couple of months ago, it just doesn't sound like he is. So it sounds like the Spurs are going to be in the market for a new head coach this offseason.
Yep. More as we hear it on this topic. Some NFL news that's kind of interesting, less than a week from the draft. In fact, I don't know. Let's see, it's 2:42. Next Friday, somewhere between, now and 5 o'clock or so, whoever the Cowboys take with their first-round pick is going to be on the Blitz. Pretty cool.
Right.
It happens every year.
Sure.
Have no idea who that is, and in a couple of years we'll hear cool stories. And I remember when, CeeDee Lamb was on with us, and, he talked about, trying to always stay in shape and, wanted to, like his goal was to make enough to hire a chef. Right? Pretty cool when you see now that he says he spends $1.3 million a year to maintain his body and health.
That when I saw that this morning, it kind of surprised me, Jason. I'll be honest with you. I get some of that, but $1.3 million a year? Don't the Cowboys?
Nope.
They do nothing for him?
Well, no, they do. But if you want to work it on your own, think about. Tom Brady spent ridiculous amounts of money. J.J. Watt has done it. Some talk about it, some don't. But the little, what are they called, hyperbaric chamber things that they sleep in, and, having a private chef, which
most of them do.
At
that level, anyway.
Most of them do. Well, I know there's a dude up in Dallas, a really cool guy. His name is Chef Hoppy. And I don't know if he's full-time with CD, but I know he's done a lot for CD. He's one of Dak's guys and worked with Zeke when Zeke was there and a couple others. And, really cool dude. Fun follow on Instagram if you're trying to learn new barbecuing techniques, because that's how I found him. And I didn't even know when I found him that he's the private chef for a lot of these cowboy types. But I'm guessing he ain't cheap.
No, of course not.
But 1.3, $100,000 a month.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But you look at it one or two ways, right? I mean, it is a lot of money. And for you and me, it's probably like, dude, why are you doing that? You can get some of this stuff for free. On the other hand, you got to respect and admire CeeDee Lamb for wanting to be in the absolute best shape that he can be in to go play football for the Dallas Cowboys. So, I look at it that way. And if he wants to invest $1 million a year in his health and his body, then, hey, so be it. And good for him. And Jerry ought to be very happy about that.
The team does provide, obviously, they have a weight room, cold tubs, hot tubs, all that kind of stuff, meals, but it's in your off season. It's your own personal workouts. Like when he was holding out all the videos, renting out an entire facility so you're the only one in there working out, that's not cheap, because that company, if they're going to do that for you, nobody else can go work out. They're losing money. So I know those private coaches, and when you're getting a whole facility to yourself, and when you have the money he does, that's what you do. So seems like a lot, $100,000 a month. Wish I was in better shape and could pretend to be a personal trainer, right?
Exactly.
Think about all these quarterback gurus. You're seeing the dude that has been working out with Cam Ward. Now, I've met this guy a couple of times, and he's got a ton of quarterbacks. And there's a kid out of Houston right now that's going to be the next one that was in the All-American game this year. And that kid looked like a stud. He's now working with him. He'll be one of the next ones, this kid named Hendrickson. But I met this guy, and quarterback coach. How do you become a quarterback coach? You get a guy that could be the number one pick, and now everybody wants to train with you.
Absolutely. Right? And, you kind of have to have the credentials, though, right? For these guys to pay that amount of money, you better know what the hell you're doing, whether that's cooking or throwing a football. So you can't just be two slubs like us going, hey, I can teach you how to be a quarterback. Give me $100,000. Here we go.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. Puka Nacua, of all people, now contract expert for the rest of the NFL.
Apparently so.
Puka Nacua is probably going to get a strongly worded email from the NFLPA, because players are supposed to talk about other players getting the most money that they possibly can. A lot of guys get knocked for trying to max out, but the Players Association hates when guys take less money, because they're trying to get everybody paid, and, all boats rise when everybody else is cashing in.
Sure.
So Puka Nacua on Julian Edelman's podcast saying there's no way the 49ers should pay him north of $50 million a year.
Brock Purdy, is he going to get a 5?
I don't think so.
Do you think he's going to go with a 4? It's going to start with a 4.
Yeah.
A high 4?
No. I think mid 4.
A 45?
I think so. I think
if he does that, that'd be smart for him and them.
Yeah. I think he seems like a smart guy. I think they have a chance to still be in their window. And I think if he goes for a 5, that the window closes. Right?
The window closes. Look, I think the San Francisco window's pretty close to closed anyway, isn't it? When you think about it. But Brock Purdy, and you wonder, because I don't know Brock Purdy from Adam. Sure. I have no idea. So I don't know what kind of ego this man has. But I don't get the sense that if Brock Purdy's not making $61 million a year, which would be north of what Dak Prescott is making because he's next, I don't think that's something that he's going to be all that upset about. I think Brock Purdy made, $900,000 this year?
Give or take.
Something like that. And so if you're telling me I'm making $900,000 this year and you're going to give me a raise to $45 million a year?
Yep.
I don't know. The only reason you wouldn't take that is because of your ego.
No.
It's absolutely why.
I will give you a great example. A great example. Now, the money's not the same because the times have changed. But it doesn't matter that Brock Purdy was the last pick in the NFL draft. His play and what he has done has put him at the elite level status, so at the top of the pay chart. Now, you're right. You go from Mr. Irrelevant, making under $1 million a year, $45 million. You should, where do I sign, right? But go back to, an undrafted kid named Tony Romo, who all of a sudden became one of the highest paid quarterbacks. There was no, dude, I'm happy, man. I mean, you should be like Aaron Rodgers. Give me 10 M's. I'm good because I never thought I'd see that.
What a
Or
donkey.
use that term, 10 M's. Why not? Sounds good.
It sounds
right?
terrible.
So if you're Brock Purdy or, say, a Tom Brady, who was a 6th-round guy, Dak Prescott, a 4th-round guy, none of that really does matter. You're right. I'm sure Brock Purdy is telling his agent, dude, $40 million, let's go. Are you kidding? I'd be happy with 4. But his agent has to steer him with the direction of the Players Association, top of the chart. And it's up to these teams to figure out how to manipulate their roster and make it all work when you're paying a top-end quarterback. I don't think that Puka Nacua is wrong in saying that it's a lot easier for these teams when your quarterback isn't making that money.
Absolutely. But look, the difference is, and I'll use the Cowboys as an example. Cowboys didn't prepare for the future. Well, guess what? The 49ers don't either. But I would be willing to bet right now that the 49ers are not going to pay Brock Purdy $60 million plus per year. They're not going to. They will make a stand, and I just that's what I'm thinking now, and I think it's time to do that. And teams need to do that. You pay a guy $60 million a year, and, I mean, it just handcuffs you in so many different ways. It just does. So I just don't think San Francisco is going to pay that man top market money more than Dak Prescott for sure. And I think they're going to offer him somewhere in the $45 to $50 million a year range.
It'd be interesting because I agree. I mean, is Brock Purdy on the elite scale north of 60, even though he's next? But you kind of look at like the Tua deal. Would it be something like that? I'd be surprised if his annual doesn't start with a 5, even though Puka's saying 4. And I'll go with Josh Allen. What's $5 million when you're talking about that much money? But I would be surprised if Brock Purdy would, and his agent would let him start at the 4s.
It's going to be interesting to see, but I just have to believe, especially in the situation that San Francisco finds itself in right now, that they would overpay for Brock Purdy. And I say overpay. Look, this might piss off Cowboy fans. Brock Purdy's done more than Dak Prescott has done and probably deserves to be paid more than Dak Prescott. But
I'm done with the Brock Purdy slander.
But he's not going to get that. And you have to agree and admit to that. The facts are the facts. But they're not going to pay him. Jerry shouldn't have paid Dak what he paid him. And I don't want to relitigate all of that again.
Relitigate. Again, should he have? You're right. But living in the real world of knowing that when you're next and you're up, that's what you're going to get.
Purdy's not getting it, I'll promise you. And he's next and he's up.
Okay.
He's not getting $60 million plus. I guarantee you.
That I agree with, but I do think it starts in the 50s, not mid-40s.
We'll see. Look, I'd like for the guy to get paid. I think he's a solid quarterback.
Me too. I would love to figure out a way to cripple the Niners.
And they're already crippled. I think the Niners are in a rebuilding mode. So it may be best, and they may decide, hey, let's rebuild.
Trade them to Pittsburgh so they don't have to deal with Aaron Rodgers.
Nobody wants to. Have you noticed the narrative on Aaron Rodgers?
Uh-huh.
Everybody's tired of that fool.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yep.
Is sick of him.
I think he's a bum.
Yep. Got an update on the Pop situation. An update from the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
No official comment from the Spurs. That is the official comment from the Spurs. Now, you go with what Shams is reporting and others. He's now home. He's resting. I think we've got enough that could say that. I also know that it was at Dean's Steakhouse on South Alamo.
Dean's
Steakhouse on South Alamo.
Okay.
I'm also being told that it was on Wednesday.
All right.
But
is that a source you trust?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very, very, very much so.
All right.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
So I've never heard of Dean's Steakhouse.
Me neither, but I'm not surprised that it was on South Alamo, somewhere in, Pop frequents a lot of the restaurants down in that area.
Absolutely. Well, he lives in Southtown, doesn't he? Somewhere, yeah. So interesting. Look, the good news is the guy is home. He's doing fine. So that's the good news. And I think that I should share that sentiment with everybody that's listening right now. Nobody wants anything bad to happen to Greg Popovich. The man is a legend. He's an icon in the city. He's an icon in the NBA world. And nobody wants anything bad to happen to that man. So the good news is he's okay. Had this incident, but he's okay. He's home and he's resting. And that's the good news.
More as we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding home with The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
If you're looking to up your beer game, Karbach has you covered. From Hopadillo to Crawford Bach to Ziegenbach to their best seller, the Love Street, there's something for everybody in the lineup, and you can find it anywhere. Next time you're out and about, ask your bartender to make it a Karbach.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the big story of the day is the TMZ report that San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich was taken by ambulance from a local restaurant. TMZ's reporting Tuesday night. Our sources are telling us it was Wednesday night after officials say they received a call for an elderly person who had fainted while eating dinner. He was reportedly alert and talking, according to TMZ. He's home now and resting.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Friday afternoon, a good Friday afternoon.
Yes, it is Good Friday, and I hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. If you got family, friends, whatever you're doing this weekend, I hope you enjoy it.
I guess you're getting the weekend off on the grill, huh? You're going to your brother's.
Going to my brother's. Apparently he's making ribs. And now I don't know. I've never had ribs that my brother's made, so I have no clue. So I might want to have a backup back at the house just in case. The
Yeah,
ribs aren't very good.
I'm making ribs this weekend.
Yeah?
Make them and then take them to Copper's Cove to my mother's.
Nice.
She requested ribs.
Ribs, huh?
Yep.
Well, very good.
I was thinking about trying to smoke a ham. She was like, I want ribs. Okay, Mom.
So will you cook those Sunday morning early before you go or Saturday night?
Depends on how we do well on the golf course on Saturday. My plan is Saturday night just because I don't want to wake up stupid early, spend 6 hours or so smoking, and then driving a couple hours up there. So I'll probably do them on Saturday. And Pledge just put up there, sorry I'm distracted, my mother likes to microwave her ribs, and it's the most god-awful thing you could ever eat, and she loves them.
Well, I have a feeling you're not going to be in very good shape to do anything Saturday night.
What do you mean?
I just have a feeling.
What? I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
Well, we're playing golf Saturday, right?
We are.
Yeah. No explanation needed.
I'll be fine.
Sure.
I mean, I think I'll be perfect to go home and fire up the Traeger at that point.
Sure.
And
yeah.
again, my mother microwaves ribs. So it doesn't really matter if they don't turn out or not. They're going to be better than the crap she normally does. That's why, and she said that today. She's like, well, I kind of want ribs. I can do them. No, Mom. No, I got it.
All right. Well, that's cool. So we'll see what kind of shape you're in.
I'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
We'll see what kind of shape you're in.
Well, I don't have to go home and cook ribs.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out if you're going to show up tomorrow.
Dude, I'm going to be there before everybody. I already told you guys that.
Uh-huh.
I will be.
Don't leave all your good shots on the range.
I will arrive before any of you because I am not afraid of James Pledger. Even though everybody else is, oh, James, ooh.
You should be.
I'm not. Not at all.
Uh-huh.
So.
Oh, me and Rob are just going to be there for the drinks and the laugh.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
What was it when I walked into the office? Oh, it's just battling something today.
Yeah, no, Joe was laying the groundwork for bailing on this golf challenge last night. We're at the Brad Williams show. And, I got a migraine coming on. Now, he was laughing his ass off through the show. He was fine, blah, blah, blah. After the show, it's like, I'm having a headache.
Dude, I do get migraines from time to time. It's a curse.
Uh-huh.
I don't get them very often, but when I get them, they hurt like hell.
It was strategically timed.
No, because I feel much better now. And usually
but tomorrow morning.
You guys, y'all can talk all you want.
We will.
I will be there.
Uh-huh.
And I will be ready, white belt and all, and I'll be ready to play some golf.
Mm-hmm.
So I got no problem.
First one, huh?
I'm just worried about Pledge showing up. I mean, Pledge may show up with rug burns and drunk, and who knows what he's going to do on a Friday night.
Pledge is going to have a great night.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's going to be at the golf course early in the morning.
Yep.
He might be there before you.
I mean, going to sleep there?
Well, last time that's what he did. I mean, we get there and we see his car in the parking lot, and dude was asleep in his car. Then why go home and shower? Because, dude, you needed to. But, no, I get it. You wanted us all to know you had a good night.
Absolutely. Well, I hope he has another good night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go home, get a good night's sleep.
Oh, you're resting up?
Sure.
Going to lay out your white belt tonight?
I will lay out the wardrobe, yes. Look sharp.
Problem is, after that night, I still kicked your ass.
I don't recall that, but okay. There's no proof of that, Pledge. We're going to have proof.
I think I was there.
Tomorrow. You don't remember.
Well, I couldn't tell you the score, but I know there was a lot of excuse making about things not working right and blaming the clubs.
Well, that's possible. That happens. It is possible.
Got a little right ball flight on your.
No, I'm not much of a slicer, Pledge. You're thinking about Rob Thompson.
Oh, no.
No, that's not called a slice. Yeah, that's shanks, not slices.
Look, dude, I don't care what happened in the past. That's irrelevant to what's going to happen tomorrow. I'll be there, win, lose, or draw, and we'll see what happens. I'm in. Oh, you guys think I'm afraid of anybody.
Listen to you talk.
I don't understand that. Listen to me talk about what?
I'd love to. I've got to go watch my daughter blow smoke.
Dude. Well,
here we go.
Blitz, now you don't understand this, but ask your good friend Jason Minix over here. If his daughter requested him to be somewhere, guess what? We'd be screwed. He'd be there.
It depends on what she wanted to do.
Yeah, she wanted to blow blue smoke out of her behind.
I probably wouldn't show up for that.
You would be there.
I don't know that I would show up for that. Can almost guarantee I wouldn't show up for that.
Are you kidding me? I could not wait. I tried like hell to talk my daughter into doing that.
I mean, she's having a baby shower tomorrow. I'm surprised you're not demanding that you get to stay.
Actually, let me tell you, let me fill you in.
Uh-huh.
When I told Maggie that, she said, that's not this weekend.
What?
This is Easter week. We're not having a shower on Easter weekend. It's next Saturday.
Ah.
And I'm still going to be there.
Ah.
So y'all can all bite me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So when you got permission to go play, did she have the dates wrong too?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
All right.
I had the dates wrong. So which just tells me I may get to play golf 2 weekends in a row. It's fantastic.
I'm down with that.
All right.
Wait, what's next weekend?
It's Saturday and Sunday. I don't know.
I
didn't say you were invited.
Well, I'm just saying I can't next weekend because I'm going to Austin for Lincoln Park next Saturday.
Lincoln Park.
Yep.
All right.
And Disturbed and Nothing More is on Friday night.
I cannot wait for tomorrow. Honestly, can't.
It's going to be fun.
It is.
It's going to be fun.
That I can tell you is a 100% chance.
Let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
A sad day for some. With the college gymnastics season over, Livy Dunn has officially announced her retirement from gymnastics.
I'm happy. I'm celebrating. That means more Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not upset by that. I think it's great. Look, she's a millionaire, and her boyfriend's about to break the Pittsburgh Pirates bank.
Yep.
So she's in good shape.
Yep. A couple of interesting stories involving the Colorado Buffaloes and one Deion Sanders. Now, Deion is responding to all the scrutiny that he is getting over the jersey retirements of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. He says, based on their resume, if his name wasn't Sanders, we would all celebrate this.
Let's get the elephant out the room. I don't want to talk about this too long. I'm going to just talk briefly and let it go. We talking about Shedeur. We ain't talking about nobody else. But his last name wasn't Sanders, we wouldn't have this discussion. The only reason we were having this discussion is his last name is Sanders. Okay? That's it. It's been so many things accomplished at this university expeditiously. It's been unbelievable. And I think we should be appreciative. We should be thankful. We have a room full of wonderful people that covers us. And I don't know if you all were in this room 2-3 years ago. Very few. Okay, but it's a new day. We're doing things a little different. I think the training table, I think the food is better. Nobody said nothing about that. It's a whole lot of things that are brighter and they're better because someone stands on business and makes it that way.
Well, that's a perfectly good explanation as to why Shedeur's going to get his jersey retired. I can't think of a better thing because the food is better. Deion was right about one thing. He's going to get his jersey retired because his last name is Sanders.
Yeah. And again, I look at his overall record. He's done a lot of things, but is that worthy of jersey retirement, especially when you factor in players that won national championships there don't have that same honor? Travis Hunter won a Heisman. I can see that.
Sure.
Deion also calling out other schools for trying to poach players. And of all people, they're going after Virginia?
What's the school? What's the school over here today? Virginia.
Virginia, you got to stop. I let you have one. I ain't say nothing about it. Hold him up. Come on now. Come on. We let you have one.
You know, I don't blame Deion for calling out Virginia because they were trying to poach a kid that wasn't in the transfer portal or even going there. They were just trying to get him to go into the transfer portal, which I think is illegal. But I don't know what's legal and what's illegal these days in college football. So
well, it is illegal, but there's no punishment.
Exactly.
So
exactly right.
Typical. A strange year in the UFL with the number of coaches that have either taken a leave of absence for a variety of reasons or left. And there was the threat of the strike, which obviously never happened. But good news today for the UFL. They have a new labor deal. The union in the league, a 2-year deal was ratified. Players will get more money and year-round health insurance, which is what they wanted. Although the money seems to be a bit of a wash. They're getting a 5% salary increase, going from $55,000 to $62,000 this year. But their $4,000 housing stipend has been eliminated.
Well, that's a pretty good deal. $4,000 a month.
I don't know if it's $4,000 a month or $4,000 for the season.
Period.
Yeah.
Well, I think the big thing there to take out of this is the fact that they're going to get health insurance.
Yes.
And I think that's the big win. It's not necessarily the salary, but they're going to get year-round health care. That is, I mean,
big.
I mean, think about the cost of that is huge. So they win today, the UFL players. They got a big win today. Got a little bit of a raise. I guess it kind of washes out with the
still a little bit more.
A little bit more.
55 to 62 is $7,000 minus $4,000, so they're getting $3,000 more net this year. Next year, though, their salaries increase up to $64,000 for their season, which isn't bad when you consider the number of months that they actually work. But more importantly, or maybe not more importantly, because it's all about money and insurance, but also with the new terms, 2 padded practices a week is all that's allowed. They get 3 team-provided meals on game day.
3?
3.
Wow.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
All right.
A formal disciplinary process, and the flexibility to choose their own cleats.
Now, see, that surprised me because I didn't know that was a big deal. I mean,
people want their own shoes and what they're comfortable in.
Well, I get that, but I mean, you're getting the right size, aren't you? Or is it more of a shoe deal that they can go out and perhaps get, or if they've had it already? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure it's a big deal. Obviously, it is because they got it and that's what they wanted. So
it's comfort in the way they're made. They might be the right size, but are they comfortable? I mean, think about you. You walk into a shoe store. There's shoe brands that you know you just don't like. Right?
Yeah.
And you know the ones that are most comfortable. So I guess cleats is a big deal because they were threatening to strike over it, but it's in the CBA.
Over the cleats.
Well, no,
I didn't hear that from Kellen Mond when we had him on.
Money and
money and cleats.
Yeah, money and cleats.
Wow, who knew?
Yeah. See, Pledge says Adidas tear my feet up. Nike cleats are preferred by me. Says the athlete.
When do you wear
James
cleats?
Pledger.
Still play flag football and stuff.
Oh, you do? Huh.
Pledge fancies himself as an athlete.
Yeah, well, everybody has a fantasy in their mind.
Most people aren't wearing tights and running 40s in a parking lot.
And typically they're not fantasizing about flag football.
Is it co-ed?
It's rug burns and
two below
hangovers.
Whole new meaning. Whole new meaning to two below. The latest on Pop playoff predictions as the NBA playoffs get underway this weekend. Keep it here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, it is Easter weekend. A lot of people are going to be gathered around, spending time with family. And, you know, with some, it doesn't always end well. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but, you know, with some family gatherings, it's going to happen because people get arrested every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7, offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
The Morning Huddle.
If I was a girl, I'd be attracted to Rob Zombie.
What?
I think like he's got a swagger to him that like he's just badass.
We're talking about the Charles Manson beard and hair.
Yeah.
Dude, if you were a girl, you'd be a biker chick.
He's like a manly man.
If you were a chick, you'd be on the back of a Harley.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country, it all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Let's give stuff away.
Why not? Let's do that.
Yeah. Monsters of Rock, July 19th, Aztec Theater. If you don't win the tickets, you can buy them at livenation.com. It's a Van Halen tribute.
David
Judas
Lee Roth.
Priest and Dio. Got nothing on Dio.
No.
You want to go to Monsters of Rock? Be caller 9 right now. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're just getting by the radio, 1:53 this afternoon, TMZ tweets out that Greg Popovich at a steakhouse here in San Antonio Tuesday night was at dinner for about 2 hours, then he passed out. EMS was called. He was transported. By all accounts, he's home now, doing fine, resting. Scary situation. No official comment from the San Antonio Spurs. That is their official comment, is no comment.
Well, no comment right now, although they did tell us he's home and doing fine. So that's the good news. And, again, just baffled that nobody knew this. If it happened Tuesday night, then this is just being reported today. It's baffling that nobody, this story did not leak. Nobody at the restaurant, which said anything. It's crazy. I have in all my time in the media, and I'll ask you the same thing. You've been in the media for a long time. Have you ever had something this significant happen, and it took 3 days before it was reported?
I will say no. I mean, it might take a while to get things confirmed, but I mean, I'm going to tell a story that's just not right to tell at the moment, but there was one major incident, and we knew the day of, within an hour of this happening, and it was a major story involving the San Antonio Spurs, and same kind of thing. So for this to happen, especially in today's world with social media and video, I mean, Spurs, Texans, Stros on Twitter tweets, why didn't local media cover this? Nobody knew. I mean, we've texted all of our friends in the business. Nobody had this until TMZ. And the fact that TMZ apparently sat on this for 3 days trying to get some sort of confirmation from the San Antonio Spurs is surprising. Shams didn't have it until after TMZ reported it. Think about it. I mean, the Spurs, the steakhouse, they did a hell of the fire department, the EMS people, they did a hell of a job of keeping this quiet for a couple of days.
Well, and that's the baffling thing, though. Whoever took that video, and we can only assume that it might have been a valet person or who knows, a server, somebody there at the restaurant, obviously sold that video to TMZ, and then TMZ sat on it until they got confirmation. That's clearly speculation on my part, but I'm assuming that's what happened. But the fact that you're right, I mean, nobody else there said a word. And those people know, I don't know, Don Harris, they know Matt Roy, they know people in the media, and you don't call them and say, hey, guess what happened to Pop? It baffles me.
Well, that's it. I mean, you, me,
yes,
Jeff McDonald, Mike Finger, nobody seems to have had this. Larry Ramirez,
Shams Charania didn't have that until today.
Yes.
So everybody that's retweeting Shams and he's reporting it like he's breaking this thing, he didn't break it. This was all TMZ. So nobody knew about this.
Crazy.
Nuts. That is the most baffling thing about this whole thing. And we can say that now and because we've gotten confirmation that Greg Popovich is at home and resting and doing fine. So
plenty of time to watch the playoffs this weekend. Let's kind of go over some of the playoff series that we're going to see. Now, obviously, the 8 seeds will be decided tonight. In the East, Cleveland's hopefully going to end up with Miami. I don't know, Cleveland in 5?
I would say that could very well be a sweep. Well, look, Miami. The one thing about Miami, and I will say, and we'll find out how real Cleveland is. Obviously, they had the best record in the East this year and played extremely well. Donovan Mitchell's been a little bit banged up. But when it's playoff time, even teams like Miami, who have plenty of experience, especially a guy like Eric Spoelstra, it could give them fits. Could be a hard time, but I have to believe Cleveland wins that series, yes.
I mean, I think Cleveland, I say 5 just because gentlemen sweep, but at the same time, you look at Cleveland, they've got such an easy path to the Eastern Conference Finals. They might sweep their way to there. They might not lose until then. Boston, Orlando. I don't know that Orlando gets more than 1 in that series.
I would say that might be a little better series than you think, just simply because Orlando, watching them the other night, and all truth be told, I haven't followed the Orlando Magic a lot. However, they play defense pretty damn well. Boston, I think, obviously is the better team, and I think they win the series, but it might be a little closer in some of these games than you think.
Knicks and Pistons should be a fun series, and, man, I tell you, the Knicks need to win this series. They really need to win this series. With everything they have done, Tibbs, everything there, I think Detroit can give them some fits, but I do think the Knicks win this series.
Probably will. I like Detroit. I just think they might not be ready yet. Still a young team, still trying to figure out how to win. But I think that's going to be one of the better series in the first round in the Eastern Conference for sure.
Indiana, Milwaukee. I know Dame's cleared to come back. I don't know. It might just be too late for Dame Lillard to save the Milwaukee Bucks season. I like the Pacers in this series just because even though they'll get the offense back from Dame Lillard, I don't think he's ready for game 1. Nothing official yet. He's practicing, but he's been out for a long time. So the ramp-up period, I just think Milwaukee has run out of time.
Well, he can practice. That's about it. And he's already been ruled out for tomorrow's game 1. So he won't be there for that. Can Milwaukee hang on and do something without him? I like Indiana too, though. I really do. Indiana's one of those teams that just they're scrappy. They're scrappy. And so I like them to beat Milwaukee and move on.
In the West, where it's just going to be fun, all these Western Conference matchups look incredible. Now, I think it's going to be Oklahoma City and Dallas, although Oklahoma City against whoever wins tonight between Dallas and Memphis, I think Dallas. Dallas, scrappy, good word. They've got nothing on Oklahoma City. They'll roll. Houston, Golden State is the series.
Wow.
One of the Western Conference series. The fact that I've seen where Golden State and some are favored. Sleep on Houston. That's a good basketball team, as much as I hate to say that.
They are a good basketball team. And I'll look, watching Golden State the other night against Memphis, let's tell it like it is. They're old.
Yeah, first half or second half. Which one are we watching?
Hey, that team is old.
Playoff Jimmy.
They are. Well, Jimmy and Steph Curry, that's about it.
Yeah.
Right? Although Draymond Green is one of the top 2 to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. So we'll see if that happens, thanks to Wemby not qualifying for that award. But I'm not sure Golden State gets by Houston. And I think for us here in San Antonio, and my prediction, that's a good thing.
Yeah, 7 seed upsetting it too. I'd be down with it. Houston's really good until they get to the final round, and then they can't do anything. Oh, wait, that was the Final Four. Los Angeles and Minnesota. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Luka with new life, talking about how devastated he was. Dude actually broke his phone when he found out he got traded. He threw his phone, and it broke. Now, that's a bad thing to have happen to you when you're about to move because you need your phone. But he broke it. That's how devastated he was.
He's got enough money to get another one.
Yeah, but even Luka's got to wait in line at the Sprint store. Actually, they don't have Sprint stores anymore. But you know what I mean.
Sprints? Did they ever have Sprint stores?
Yep.
They did?
Sure.
All right, I guess. Sprint store. He did confirm, though, what we have been talking about. His heart was broken. And he said that. He tells Malika Andrews that. His heart was broken. He wanted to be a Dallas Maverick for his entire career. And they ripped his heart out of his chest. And you could tell that pretty easily, but that didn't happen, and they broke his heart.
Denver and the L.A. Clippers.
That could be a hell of a series. As much as I hate to say it, because I'm going to be the biggest Denver Nugget fan you ever saw in your life. In fact, I may wear Nuggets gear in here all next week just because of that. My thoughts on number 2 are what they are. So I really am hoping that the Nuggets can get this done. I'm just afraid that they might not be able to, and that's the problem. So Clippers are playing good basketball. The Nuggets, they got the Joker, and sometimes that's enough. So, but that could be one hell of a series. There's no question about that when you're talking about the Nuggets and the Clips. And I think I'm ready for the playoffs. This play-in stuff is for the birds. I'll be totally honest with you. We've gone through this week talking about the play-in tournament, and it's for the birds. I'm ready for the real deal to get started. That happens tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that. So, I don't know. The Lakers and Minnesota could be an interesting series. It really could be. I like the Lakers, and I told you last night, Minix, that I like the Lakers to win the West. And I even put my money where my mouth is when it comes to that. I hope I'm wrong. I'll be honest with you. I hope that's money that I lose, and I hope I'm wrong. I just think you combine playoff LeBron James with playoff Luka Doncic. Austin Reeves is playing good basketball. I just think they're going to be a tough out for anybody, including Oklahoma City. They're going to be a tough out. So I think the Lakers, in my view, will beat Minnesota, obviously. I'm thinking that. But I think they go on and get to the Western Conference Finals. Now, do they get to the finals? That's another step. But I think they got a legit shot. There's no question about it.
Little breaking news.
What you got?
As often happens in a situation like this, things are very fluid and facts tend to change.
Sure.
So according to San Antonio Fire Department's public information officer, who just texted me, on 4/15 at 8:23 p.m., San Antonio Fire Department responded to 7720 Jones Maltzberger, Bruce Chris, for a report of an approximate 80-year-old patient who had fainted. The patient was transported, priority 2, non-life-threatening illness or injury, to the hospital as a precaution. So that is the update, the official update. Some of the other stuff that we have heard, it was on April 15th, 8:23 p.m., and from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, not placed down on South Alamo or any of that. That is official. HIPAA prevents us from disclosing patient identification or which hospital we transported to.
Understandable, but
Understandable.
That clears that up, and going right to the fire department, that's a good thing.
Yep.
So
that's.
But again, the good news is he's at home and he's doing fine. That's what we've been told, and I think everybody's happy about that.
Yep, he's non-life-threatening, resting.
Yes.
We'll keep on it.
Yeah, we will.
See what we can find out. What do we have coming up next? I don't even know. You want to give stuff away?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Let's change the mood a little bit. Alamo Heights Night's coming up.
We'll regroup.
Yes, we do need to regroup. I hope that was a good segment. I didn't pay attention to anything you were saying. I was texting with the fire department
The words of wisdom I was spewing out were fantastic, and I'm sorry you missed it.
Oh, good. We'll do it again later.
All right, good.
We'll do it again later. Right now, let's give away some tickets to Alamo Heights Night. If you want to go, be caller number, 15, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my home. They've added extra outlets in the garage, a spotlight over one of the grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. So whether you need additional outlets or USB ports, you need to fix a fuse that's blown, whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, Never a service charge, always free estimates, so it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Hill Electric, call them 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the NBA playoffs in full swing. We'll catch you up on everything you missed.
And it's finally here. NFL Draft Week is upon us. We'll get into who's trending up, who's trending down. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Big cash giveaway, yeah. $250,000, yes. The next 10 months, GimmeTheVin.com is giving back. Everyone that sells us their car gets put in the drawing, and monthly we're pulling out $25,000 and giving it to you. So, not only are we the top of the market buyer, but you got a chance to win $25,000. That's what we mean by big cash giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. Divorce is tough. It's emotional, challenging, and can upend everything you've worked hard for. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control and protect your financial future. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about protecting what you've built, securing your assets, and ensuring you have the resources to move forward with confidence. You've worked hard for everything you have, and we're here to help safeguard it and avoid unnecessary losses. If you're serious about protecting yourself through the divorce process and securing your future, Barton & Associates is the team you need by your side. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Guys over 40, tired of feeling tired? Testosterone therapy by Synergenics is the answer. This April, the consultation is free. Treatment covered by most major insurance. Don't wait for online meds. Walk into their clinic, see a provider, feel great today. Book now at FixMyLowT.com.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Friday afternoon. A good Friday at that.
Absolutely it is.
Heading into Easter weekend.
Fridays are always good. This one just is really good, depending on what your thought process is and what you believe. But kind of a sad start to this whole thing. If you're just joining us, I mean, the Greg Popovich story has kind of ruled the day, if you will, just simply because he was transported from a local restaurant, local steakhouse on Tuesday night to the hospital after fainting. And but we are told he is resting at home as we speak.
And again, what the San Antonio Fire Department has confirmed It was Tuesday night, 8:23 p.m., and he was transported priority to non-life-threatening illness or injury to the hospital as a precaution. So TMZ breaks the story, and it's just truly amazing to me that this happened on Tuesday night, and it's Friday afternoon. 1:53 is when TMZ put it out. Nobody here locally had it. Nobody knew anything. Nobody of all the different media types that we have reached out to, nobody knew. It's not like, well, they knew but decided not to or were asked not to or anything like that. If people are asking on social, how did you guys not know? We didn't know.
Well, we didn't know, and again, TMZ is the one that broke this story. It wasn't Shams Charania. So if you're wondering, and he is the NBA story breaker, if you will, and so he didn't even know. So there's a lot of things going on here, and look, the Spurs are very good at protecting their own, and obviously Greg Popovich is an icon, and people are concerned, and they want to know what's going on, but that's all we know, and really, I guess, in the scheme of things, that's all we need to know. That Pop's okay. This happened. Pop's fine. He's at home, and we wish him all the best.
Absolutely. And again, the more we learn, if there's anything else more to learn, I do think the discussions that we've been having for weeks about Pop making a decision, those discussions are still ongoing. Maybe a decision has already been made. Who knows? But it does make you wonder at his age to go through the grind of not only an 82-game regular season, but preseason and hopefully a long postseason run if he would even have the energy or ability. I mean, I know, and it is strange because the two pro teams in town both have older coaches that are dealing with health issues. Yep. But, you know, with everything that Wade Phillips is dealing with at his age, you almost wonder. I mean, it's you know, I wonder if Pop might have had the goal of coming back, but his body is saying no. Yeah, there's still a line from Lee Corso announced his retirement. Not so fast.
Not so fast.
I mean, it's, you know, and it's sad because this is, you know, not everybody gets to go out on their own terms, and I think we all thought that Pop would be able to do that, but life is saying otherwise, and at some point to get healthy and go enjoy your life.
Well, life is life, right? And I don't think Pop had any intention of thinking about retirement. At least he didn't appear to when the season began, but then he had the stroke and things happened. So, look, at this point in time, it's not even about necessarily – I'm sure Pop wants to coach. I'm sure he does. It's his passion. It's what he's done his entire life. And so I'm sure he does. But at some point in time, you got to realize and step back, and as hard as it may be, and say, you know, I just can't do it anymore. I hope, if that's the case, that Pop will continue on in some form or fashion in the Spurs front office.
Yes.
And be a part of the decisions that will need to be made this offseason, be a part of everything when it comes to the Spurs. But, I mean, you said it. You just think about it. You got training camp. You've got preseason. You've got the rigors of a regular season, and then hopefully a postseason run. That's hard enough on a young man that has not had a stroke, much less a 76-year-old who has. So, again, wish Pop all the best, but at some point in time, glad he's fine, and now we get back to the business of basketball, and that needs to take precedence here. And I think the Spurs, May 12th is coming pretty quick. That's the draft lottery. And so those decisions need to be made sooner rather than later, I would assume.
Definitely. Now, a lot of decisions will be made in the next week for NFL teams. You think about the Dallas Cowboys and their draft, and look, draft boards are all over the place, but consistently the Cowboys need a wide receiver. What I find interesting is ESPN did a piece today, and I like how they did it. A pick that fills the biggest need and a pick that gets the best value. So a lot of teams have two different dudes. Not the Dallas Cowboys. Their big need and best value, Matthew Golden from the Texas Longhorns.
And I think Jerry Jones is in love with this guy. I really do. Golden talks about meeting with Jerry.
I mean, that's Jerry Jones. You know, he kind of legendary. You know what I'm saying? So, great guy. You know, I had the opportunity to meet him, but you know, just being there, being able to meet Jerry, you know, it was cool. It was a cool moment for me.
Everybody's told me their Jerry story. Ashton, everyone's told what happened. What happened in that meeting?
He told me to call my mom, so I FaceTimed her. I think
Alicia?
He told me to call my mom, so I ended up calling her, FaceTimed her. I was like, I got a surprise for you, and Coach Jerry was talking to her.
Coach Jerry, I love that. I like Coach Jerry. I call him Coach Jerry. Yeah. What did he say to your mom?
He was just talking to her, you know, just telling her she raised a great young man. You know, all the hard work paid off, and she did a tremendous job with me.
That's why players love Jerry Jones.
Yep.
I mean, it absolutely is. What other owner, and I'm curious, maybe they did and we just didn't hear about it, but what other owner that got a visit from a player said, call your mom? I mean, seriously, I would be willing to bet nobody else.
Well, and again, I mean, especially when you're a celebrity owner, mom probably knows him or knows of him. How cool to share that experience. And how smart of one Matthew Golden. Brilliant Texas Longhorn move. How do I get this guy to really like me? Calling him Coach Jerry.
That's it.
I'm going to call him Coach because I know Jerry's ego. Boy, he'll swell up Coach Jerry. That's got a good ring to it. That's Matthew Golden politicking to get his star on the helmet, right? I mean, you look at it. That's brilliant. Coach Jerry. Love it.
I do too.
And I would love for it to be Matthew Golden. Now, I see a lot of other mock drafts going with McMillan out of Arizona, which, man, up until I heard that guy do the interview, I was all over. But if you don't love football, I don't want you on my team, especially not with the 12th overall pick.
It looks like, just in just reading between the lines, between the visit with Jerry, what happened there, I would be shocked at this point in time, if everything plays out the way it's supposed to, that Matthew Golden is not the first pick for the Dallas Cowboys next Thursday night.
Now, you say that. ESPN's got Matthew Golden. USA Today has the Hampton kid, the running back.
Uh-huh.
Quite frankly, I'm down with either one. Now, I saw A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle today do a video on the San Antonio Sports Star Instagram that said, forget that, you need a big fat guy. Now, I don't know, and there are times when, yeah, you got to go with the fat guy. Not this year. When you've got the amount of talent and the weapons that are needed. I 100% disagree with A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle on this. You know, their offensive line is not perfect, and one of those guys certainly would help, but they need weapons around Dak Prescott, and they need a running back. They need a legit number 2 wide receiver. That's what they are going to do in the first round. You know, there's other offensive linemen that they could get for depth, but this year, the shiny object, that is exactly what they need to go get.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that in the first 2 picks in this draft. I really do. I think you're going to see wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, one or the other, however that plays out in the first 2 picks. Could they use a fat guy? Sure. Of course they could. But I'm with you. I think at this point in time, you've got to get some weapons. You do. And I think your offensive line is intact enough and good enough at this point in time that you're going to be just fine. Dak Prescott needs some weapons around him. He needs some talent around him. He cannot get it done by himself. And CeeDee Lamb needs the help, quite frankly. As good as CeeDee Lamb is, if you've got somebody on the other side that's going to command a little attention, that's going to make your job a little bit easier. CeeDee's still going to get all the attention, obviously. I don't care who's on the other side. But it helps. And it's going to help, especially if you're covering CD, you're double teaming him, and Golden's killing you on the other side. It's going to make a big difference. And so I'm with you on this one, Jason. I think they've got to they need some weapons to put around Dak Prescott and then go from there. They've got a ton of draft picks. So the first 2 have got to be offensive weapons.
Well, and let's go back to last year. They take Tyler Guyton in the first round and Cooper Beebe in the third.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Smith was a first-rounder in 22. The right side is iffy with Terrence Steele and Brock Hoffman penciled in as your starters. But you look at a Cooper Beebe type find in the 3rd round, 4th round.
Yep.
If they end up with the 4th round pick, you can go find some line help. But when you're talking about some of these running backs, and as we're a week away from the 2nd round, because a week from today we're going to know who their 1st round pick is, and that person will be on the Blitz next Friday. The idea that wide receiver or running back, but watching all the different shows, whether it's on ESPN or Fox or NFL Network, the more I hear about Hampton, I mean, the comparisons to Genty, who's been by far the best running back in the class, it's not like, Hampton is a distant 2. And so depending on their board, and I know they'll say best player available and, drafting for need, well, they need wide receiver, they need running back. If they've got Hampton graded that high, I'm not going to be mad if they go running back in the 1st round.
I heard an NFL expert today say that he thinks Hampton's better than Genty overall. So who knows? But that was the answer that this guy provided. So who knows, right? But you've got two quality running backs in this draft. The Cowboys aren't going to have an opportunity at Genty. Genty's going 6 to the Raiders. They'd have to trade up. And AD on our YouTube, it ain't going to be Travis Hunter either, pal. As much as everybody would love that, it's just not going to be. The Cowboys are not going to trade up to number 2 to pick Travis Hunter. They're not going to. It's just it won't happen.
No.
So you're talking about either this McMillan kid or Matthew Golden at 12. It's most likely one of those, or if they decide to go running back with the Hampton kid out of North Carolina.
Either way, although Ashton Genty said he sees a running back renaissance going on, and I don't disagree with him.
Nope.
Running backs became kind of disposable for a couple of years. The Cowboys fell into that trap, and we've certainly seen it. But there seems to be higher running back quality of play recently. For years, high school coaches would pick their best players, quarterback, and your running back. The next best 11 went and played defense. Now you've got your quarterback getting picked, handful of receivers, and then your running back and whatnot. And so that's how you're developing. And it does feel like, and we see this at the high school level, and then that translates to the college level, that there is more of an emphasis, even though we got in this pass-happy kind of offenses, that you still need good running backs and good running back play and offensive linemen that can block for the run game. It's easier to block in the run game. So the idea, but there was a lull where it was hard finding good running backs. There just weren't a lot of them because those guys that would have been running backs started playing wide receiver.
Well, that's true, but I think we can thank Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry for reviving the running back position. Those two guys led the way. And look, teams are not stupid. They see what those running backs did for those teams. And for a Dak Prescott, regardless of what I think of him or what anybody thinks, or any quarterback, it doesn't have to be Dak, you got a good running game, that just makes your job that much easier. And it just is. And why running back all of a sudden went out of existence, I'll never know. I'm glad it's back. But Genty is absolutely right. You're going to see a lot more running backs, and it's a great running back draft this year. You're going to see a lot more running backs taken, I think, in this draft than you have in a long time.
Well, I go back and I look at Zeke when he signed his contract, and that kind of changed things. And, we got to reset the market, and we're just not going to pay running backs. But you look at, like, David Montgomery and what they have going on with Gibbs in Detroit. So, and this is a great running back class because 4 or 5 years ago, you saw people going away from running back, but the high school and college levels started developing them. There was a gap with quality running backs coming out, and I think we saw that. Now you're starting to see from the high school level to the college level the importance of the run game, and we're deep running back class because they're being used more in college, and they're coming out.
Quarterback's best friend
is
a good running game. I mean, it's just that simple. And for Prescott, and just saying, I don't know how mobile this guy's going to be. You're going to want to give him as much time as you possibly can when he does have to throw the football. And if you got a good running game, that will buy him an extra couple of seconds.
Going to be fascinating. Cannot wait for the draft this week. It is the Blitz here on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star will have the latest on Greg Popovich if you're just getting by the radio as we continue here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us for San Antonio's premier Fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by HEB, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta.
Tragically, recent data reveals that 40% of women in Texas will experience intimate partner violence. Christie's Hope is dedicated to breaking the cycle of domestic violence by providing shelter, healing, and counseling, and empowering survivors to take their first steps towards lasting safety and independence. Thomas J. Henry stands with us in our commitment to end domestic violence. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Carbach Brewing was not born in San Antonio, Texas, but they have certainly gone out of their way to make San Antonio their second home. We had the head brewer come in, and he said when they first started to reach outside of Houston, San Antonio was the place they wanted to be, and does it show. Carbach beer is all over our great city, from their in-your-face flagship IPA, Hopadillo, to the Ziegenbach, to their best seller, the Love Street, their Kolsch-style blonde. There is something for everyone in Carbach's lineup, and it is all over the place. Of course, you're going to find it at the grocery stores. Of course, you're going to find it at the liquor stores, but it's also at a bunch of bars and restaurants around town. They wanted to make this their second home, and that's what it's become. So when you're out, you're watching the games at your local sports bar, your local restaurant, your local hangout, you're thinking, I want to elevate my beer game a little bit. Well, friend, wherever you're at, they probably have some Carbach either on tap or in cans. So when you're out and about doing your thing, go ahead and make sure to ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
It is the story of the day. TMZ first reported that San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich left a local restaurant in an ambulance Tuesday night after officials say they received a call for an elderly person who had fainted while eating dinner. He was reportedly alert and talking when he left the restaurant, and we are told he is at home and doing fine. We've got NBA play-in action tonight. Miami takes on Atlanta. Dallas heads to Memphis.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Friday afternoon.
A good Friday afternoon. Literally.
Literally, it's Good Friday.
Literally, it is Good Friday.
I mean, they're all good, but today's
Dude, I just walked
Good
out.
Friday.
I just walked out of the studio, and it's like a ghost town.
Are you kidding? It was a ghost town when we walked into this studio.
Radio station, man. It was, woo.
For a day that's not an official company holiday, what the hell are we doing here?
It's a company holiday.
Yeah.
Unofficially. But, yeah, there's nobody here. Oh, Sam's down there. He said he's busy recording some stuff, but
yeah,
that's about it.
That's it. It's us holding down the fort.
That's all right.
Work. I mean, there's a lot of times Pledger's the only one here, but he likes it that way.
Yeah, he does. I don't know what that look he just gave you. I'm not sure he agrees with you.
He's here a lot by himself.
I'm just saying.
He seems to like it.
I don't think he likes it.
Well, it depends on what day of the week it is.
Why does that matter?
I don't know, color 42. I kind of wish I was alone that day.
You know, I got Nyosa tickets to give away. We could do color 42.
Well, it's not Jackie Robinson Day today.
I mean, I don't know. I can come up with a higher number.
We could do a Luka Doncic number, 77.
Oh, yeah,
we
maybe.
could do that in honor of Luka.
Mm-hmm. I mean, keep playing, Pledge. I got Oyster Bag tickets, too. We could do this twice.
He's just a kid, Jason.
Who?
Pledge.
What do you mean?
He's just a kid.
He just had a birthday.
And?
How old did you turn, George Gervin?
Yeah.
Yeah, caller 44. You want Nyosa tickets? Those tickets are yours. 210-656-ESPN. 656-3776. In honor of James Pledger turning 44, be caller 44, and you get to go get a chicken on a stick.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to pay for that chicken on a stick.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay to get in.
That's true.
That's it.
How about that?
Save you some beer money. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. It is just after 4 o'clock. And, you know, not to sound too repetitive if you've been with us for a while, but there's always new audiences coming in, and there are some that have not heard the news that Greg Popovich on Tuesday night at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse having a wonderful dinner, because it is wonderful over there, passed out and had to be rushed to the hospital by ambulance. EMS was called. TMZ first reported this at 1:53 this afternoon. And according to the TMZ reports, and the fact that they sat on it for 3 days is quite surprising. And no other local media had this either until TMZ broke the news, and local media or even Shams Charania. By all accounts, according to Shams, home and resting now. And what the fire department told us here at San Antonio Sports Star is that EMS did respond to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse for a report of an approximate 80-year-old patient who had fainted. Patient was transported priority 2 to the hospital as a precaution. That's not non-life-threatening illness or injury. Now, with my wife being a career emergency room nurse, although it's been a while since she's been in the ER, and knowing a lot of people in that field, the fact that they did transport him is telling. And that might be age, because a lot of times, EMS can respond, okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
We'll send them home. We have no idea what hospital he went to. The fire department can't release that information because of HIPAA. Quite frankly, they can't even release the patient's name. But the idea, though, that he did have to go to the hospital tells you it's a little more concerning than just, hey, you're okay, good, everything's good, check out, drive yourself home, and call your doctor in the morning.
Well, I think the fact that he's had the stroke, that might automatically say we need to just make sure that everything's all right. He's not having another one, and is everything okay? I think as a precaution, take him there and let him be checked out thoroughly before you release him and send him home. So prayers for Greg Popovich, and I'm glad that he's okay. I'm happy that he's home. I really am happy that this didn't turn out to be a very sad ending, but I'm happy he's home.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, no comment is the official comment.
Yeah.
From the San Antonio Spurs.
Comment.
Yes.
Yeah, officially.
Well, no, officially they're official comments. No comment.
No comment. I'm not sure why I'm like I got my close-up here and the cameras aren't changing. You have any idea?
I don't know, man.
I'm just wondering.
You love being on camera.
I don't mind being on camera, but I mean, it's like, I'll share the wealth.
Yes. No official comment from the Spurs.
No official comment.
Was the official comment I got from the Spurs.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Look, I have a feeling, it's just a feeling, nothing to base this on, that we will be getting a comment from the San Antonio Spurs within the next couple of weeks on Greg Popovich's status as head coach of the Spurs.
And we need that. As a Spur fan base, and I'm a Spur fan, the idea that I've been saying for weeks, and all what happened on Tuesday night is reinforce what I've been thinking, and that is there's no way Greg Popovich is going to coach this team next year. And it's sad, but for the best interest of the organization moving forward, we need to get a new head coach in place prior to the draft and prior to free agency. I hope that Greg Popovich stays with the organization in the front office, but the idea of an 82-game regular season, preseason, all the travel, all the stress, all the hours, and hopefully a long playoff run, coming off of the stroke, I wondered if that would be too much. And an incident like this does, for me, reinforce the fact that it's time. As sad as that is, it's time. I wish that Greg Popovich could have gone out on his own terms. And I've said for weeks, he needs to make that decision, but at some point, if he is still deciding, the organization is going to have to make that decision. And as the playoffs get underway, now is the time for that decision. I know I said a couple months ago, middle of May is probably fine. And when you see a Mike Malone get let go and a Taylor Jenkins that's available, mid-April kind of becomes the new time frame, because other teams are also going to be looking to hire coaches. And two guys that we never thought would be available this offseason suddenly are available. So if the Spurs are interested in either one of them, they need to know what Greg Popovich's plans are.
Well, and I have a feeling they do. It's just a feeling that I have. I think they've talked about this, they've discussed it, and they're going to release it whenever they feel like it's the best time. Mike Budenholzer is another guy that's out of a job right now, so that could play into it. I still contend, or at least it's on my wish list, and I think it would be a perfect transition if they could coax Steve Kerr into coming down here to San Antonio and leaving those old Golden State Warriors for a nice new young team led by Wemby and Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. So we will see. Either way, Greg Popovich had one hell of a career. And I know it may be ending sooner than he thinks it's going or wanted it to end. 3 Coach of the Year awards. 28 years he's been the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. obviously 5 championships. And, I mean, it's just been you talk about a Hall of Fame career that it just speaks for itself. So Greg Popovich will always be the head coach of the Spurs. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for somebody to come in and fill those shoes right away. I mean, it really is. I don't care what the name is, Steve Kerr or otherwise. You're talking about having to step in the shoes of a legend.
Now, think about where this Spurs team is. And imagine a world in which Pop never had a stroke in November, or this incident Tuesday night, and you had a healthy Greg Popovich. Wouldn't this be the right time if you're Greg Popovich, who have said forever that he wasn't a lifer and all that stuff? But several years ago, the cupboard was bare. And I do get the feeling that Greg Popovich always wanted to leave when he could hand over the organization with a full cupboard and the new coach has a chance at success. I'll go back to one of the things I said about years ago about Becky Hammon. You know, the way the team was playing, if Pop would have retired and Becky took over and the team was going to be awful and they had no chance at success, and then she wouldn't be successful and fired in a couple of years, and people would say, see? No, I mean, this team right now is in the perfect place to hand it off to somebody that will have success, should have success almost immediately. You know, a lot of times coaches get jobs with teams that are bad, and they don't really get enough time to turn things around. The cupboard is full. You've got a great core in Wemby, Fox, and Steph Castle. You've got a couple of draft picks, and you got free agent money. This, even in a world in which Greg Popovich was healthy and we weren't talking about a stroke in other incidents, this would be a great time for him to say, I'm leaving the organization in as good a shape as I can as I hand the whistle over to somebody else.
Absolutely. This team is on the up. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. It's on the up. The players are in place. They'll get a couple of picks this year, and then depending on what they want to do, free agent-wise, this team is on the up, and I fully expect this team to be a playoff contender next year and moving on up from there. So you're exactly right. The cupboard is full. And it's ready to go, or maybe not completely full, but it's certainly well stocked.
Yep.
We'll put it that way. So we'll see what happens in the future. And I just want to say, and I don't typically respond to YouTube people unless it's a funny thing, but I'm not sure. Rudy Gonzalez, give Pop some respect. Stop the rumors and innuendos. Stop trying to create gossip. Move on to something else. I'm not sure that Jason or I have said anything that is gossip or a rumor or an innuendo. So with all due respect, Rudy,
not sure what you're talking about,
Not sure
dude.
exactly what you're talking about.
Again, everything we've talked about are facts. And again, TMZ, sure, and then I'm texting my own sources. The fire department report, that's from the fire department. That's fact. That's not rumor. That is fact.
Absolutely.
That's what we try to do, and speculating on who the next head coach is going to be. We've been doing that for weeks.
Long time.
For weeks, and quite frankly, for years. I mean, Pop has been year to year.
It's kind of what we do.
For a number of years.
Well,
I can remember a time when Pop said he was going to walk out the door with Tim Duncan.
Sure.
So when Tim walked out the door, we were speculating who the next head coach was going to be then.
Hey, look, I mean, you just have to face the facts. And if that's speculation or innuendo or rumor, I'm not sure that it is, but yeah, I mean, you're always going to look to the future. And with what happened this past week, I think it's absolutely appropriate to look to the future. I mean, Pop's fine. That's the main thing. We've been told he's fine. He's at home. He's resting. He's doing fine. That's the main thing. I'm happy about that. But once you get that and he's good, he's ready to go, you still need a coach in here that can do the job. And I'm just not sure at this point in time that Pop is able to do the job.
So, Pledge, we got 44. Was it Justin?
Really?
Oh, he's all excited on the YouTube chat. He was caller 1, 21, 30, and 44.
That's persistence.
That's a guy that really wanted to go to Nyosa.
The guy I sat next to at our golf tournament got a little hair trim.
Absolutely. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some new people in here on the YouTube. Green botanicals with a weed leaf. Is that a weed leaf?
Looks like weed,
Or,
doesn't it?
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Some sort of emoji.
Looks like weed.
Dude, it's 418. It's almost 420, so I'm glad they're celebrating appropriately.
Well, if that's a true botanical shop in Green, Texas, it could just be a CBD shop.
Could be.
Could be. I think that was kind of obvious, though.
Well,
I mean,
I wasn't thinking CBD. I was thinking weed.
Which-
I'm just
which
saying.
is CBD.
You weren't here on Friday.
I wasn't?
Have you seen the dude on Austin Highway walking down, up and down, saying free weed? Have you seen him?
No, but he might be trying to kidnap you.
Well, I'm just
It's
saying.
like that van with the free mimosa sign. It's a white van. That's how they kidnap you.
Yeah, it says free weed. He doesn't have a white van. And I'm pretty sure I could probably whip his butt. But
on Austin Highway, I don't know that I would trust it. It could be oregano.
No, the people
I mean,
here,
if it's free.
So the beauty of it, the people here say that a lot of CBD places do that.
Yep.
And they get you inside, and you gotta sign up for this or that, and you get something free that resembles weed.
Yeah, it's a hemp shop, 4 locations. Cool.
Is it a hemp shop or a hemo shop?
Well, I'm going to go hemp and just assuming the guy's not a good typer.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we try not to correct spelling on their YouTube chat, especially yours.
See, Justin says you just got to like their Instagram page, and they give you free weed.
Who?
A hemp shop, a CBD store. I don't know.
The place on Austin Highway?
Pay attention when you drive down Austin Highway, and you'll see some dude carrying a sign that says free weed.
I don't know that I'm going to take advantage of a guy on Austin Highway offering anything for free.
He's working for the CBD store. He's not being taken advantage of.
So it's not the homeless guy?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because remember when there was the white van during COVID that was giving free shots? Like, who's stopping there for that in that white van? I mean, that was about as shady as it looks, and we've seen some shady things through the years over on Austin Highway.
Well, I wouldn't get near a white van, period.
Well, but if it said free weed?
No, even then. I don't need to be used and abused for free weed.
Really, huh?
No.
You'd rather pay for that?
I'd rather pay for it than have to pay for it with something else.
Mm-hmm.
I love wieners.
So it's really called the Grass Station on Austin Highway? Where is this place? How have I not seen the Grass Station? That's creative.
Nice.
Huh.
And
the fact that Justin knows exactly where it is. Because he sells cars over on Austin Highway.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He sold Wemby a car. Remember that video of Wemby? That was at Justin's place.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there you go. Now, Green Botanicals say they give you free hemp for giving them a 100 review.
See, that's
on
BS.
Google for free.
See, then you wonder if those reviews are real or not.
Well, if you get free weed, who gives a damn?
Well, for people that are looking for honest reviews to see if it's worthy.
Well, it's worthy because they're giving you free weed. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's free.
Uh-huh.
It's for me.
Mm-hmm.
Free weed.
Mm-hmm. Good Lord.
That's all you need to know, buddy.
If it's free,
it's for me.
So we're going to tell you who you need to root for as a Spurs fan in these playoff games tonight and why. Coming up here, it is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it is spring, and you know what happens in spring in San Antonio and South Texas? Thunderstorms with the wind, the rain, the hail, all of that kind of stuff. If you experience that, and we have a storm, and I know there's rain in the forecast, but I don't think it's going to be too serious. At least my handy-dandy weather app doesn't say it's going to be. But they're coming. It always happens. You know it. If you've lived here for any time at all, you know those storms are coming. I want you to keep in mind a great company, Stevens Roofing and Solar. Family-owned company, locally based company. It's a company that's been in business here in San Antonio and South Texas for a long, long time. And you know what I'm about to say. You don't stay in business that long if you're not doing the job right. Stevens Roofing is the absolute best in the business. You want to remember that name because when the storms come through and those out-of-town guys come knocking on your door saying we're in the neighborhood and they do a shoddy job on your roof, and then they leave and you never get a hold of them again. You want a local roofer who deals with the same weather we do, a roofer that's going to be here for years to come. Look, the team at Stevens Roofing and Solar is going to make sure that your roof is in top shape to protect your home and your family. Why don't you give Stevens Roofing a call right now? In fact, you can schedule a free, no-obligation roof inspection. The number to call is 210-785-0994. And whether you need a new roof, a minor repair, or just a confirmation that your roof is in great shape, they're going to give you the peace of mind that you want, the peace of mind that you deserve. Stevens Roofing and Solar. Remember them and remember this number, 210-785-0994.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or alawyerforus.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Well, I like the way you did that. Was that intentional?
With the music?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a pro.
That was perfect.
I mean.
You had I'm Jason Minix, and then there's he's Joe Reinagel.
You realize I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, you didn't know. You got lucky.
No.
You got lucky.
Yeah. See, when you know music, it's easy to do that.
Ba-da-doo.
See, but you've learned a lot of things since you've joined the old radio station.
I have, I guess. Have I?
Get exposed to things you didn't know, various bands, comedians, all kinds of stuff.
Well, it was a cool show last night. Saw Brad Williams, the little person comedian, dwarf, who himself used the term midget several times.
He did. He's allowed to, though.
Oh, he can.
Yes.
I can't?
No.
All right.
He explained that last night during the show.
He did?
He did. He explained it Tuesday when he was on the Blitz.
If I recall, he said he doesn't mind.
He doesn't mind, but other people do, so you can't.
Dude,
although he doesn't really like dwarf either.
I don't understand these politically correct rules.
Well, this is true.
I really don't.
Yeah. Yep. It is, what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting. But fun show last night. And we saw a lot of our listeners at the show last night, and even at the pizza place that we went to.
Yeah. That was crazy. What was that place called? Leo's?
Leo's Hideaway, which Portnoy, when he was in town for the Final Four, did one of his pizza reviews there. So it's no longer a well-kept secret. Now, granted, during the marathon, when my wife was running, we got a hotel downtown, and I ate there, and I'm like, this place is good. And so if we're doing a show, something at the Majestic like last night or Aztec Theater, I always try to go to Pinkerton's for dinner, and because you park over there and eat well. But if Pinkerton's like last night, the line was stupid for a Thursday night.
Yes, it was.
And there's a couple other places that I know, like that Bun's Burger place is good, but that pizza place. So when we saw the line, we're like, well, let's go get pizza, although it might be nuts because of Portnoy. And there was a line in there. Damn good pizza. Good cold beer. There was a dude there was like, hey, you're Jason. Yeah, I am. And then he's like, is that Joe? It's like, you guys do everything together?
Everything.
Yes. Yes. This show is more than 4 hours. We're apparently joined at the hip for.
Apparently so.
It was comical. But then the dude at the Majestic said the same thing. Couldn't believe that we were together.
It's crazy how that works. It really is. But it's cool seeing people out like that. It really is. And again, it was a fun night, and the pizza was good. The lady there was telling us that after Portnoy left, I mean, they were packed.
Yes.
I mean, they were just slammed. Last night it was crowded, but, I mean, we didn't have to wait a long time.
No, but we couldn't get a table. We sat at the bar, but, because of it, they've done away with, like, Grubhub and Uber Eats and all that. It's calling ahead, forget about it, because they can't keep up, which is great for a local pizza place like that. And knowing that Dave does those reviews that way to help local businesses is incredible. Hats off to him. I'll never forget the one in Baltimore when he went in there and they were like, yeah, but we're closing. We're done. How much is it going to take to keep open? And was it 80 grand, 100 grand, something like that? And he was like, dude, I'll transfer you money right now. And which is cool. So hopefully this year at the Army-Navy game, we'll remember where that place is and go see how good that pizza was.
Well, was it him or was it Clay Travis, who just started the whole small business fund that people donated, and then he would was that Portnoy? It's one of those two guys. I think it was Portnoy who did that.
He does a lot of stuff like that, but I know so does Clay Travis. So, but it is cool to see and to go in and experience and have them tell us stories about Dave and the influx of business that they have had.
Yeah.
Because, quite frankly, most people don't go downtown to get a slice.
No.
But that's a great slice.
The pizza was fantastic.
And I love a place that will do pizza by the slice like that.
Me too. Because they don't have sizes. You either get pizza by the slice or you get a ginormous pizza.
Ginormous.
Ginormous. It was huge.
It was.
You've probably never seen anything that big.
I've been to Big Lou, sir. I have. I've seen bigger.
That went right over your head, didn't it?
No.
Yeah, it did.
No. Sounded good in your head, though. But, yeah, we're friends. We've been friends since 1993. We do a lot of things together socially.
Sure.
And, like, going to the comedy show last night, going to dinner beforehand. Tomorrow we're all playing golf, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm there for the beer and to watch the drama. Watch Pledge roll out of bed after a great Friday night, hearing stories about whoever, and you stressing over your golf game trying to compete.
Dude, I'm not going to stress over
Pledge.
anything. I will consume large quantities of beer myself.
Yes.
I know Rob will. So will Pledge.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun day.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, the fact that there's a little rivalry there, a little something that, Pledge and I want to settle, we can do that and still be friends and still have beer. I'm not going to stress about it. It's Saturday afternoon on the golf course. What's there to stress about?
Are we doing anything more than just bragging rights on this?
Well, see, that depends because all I hear is Pledge is a pro.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a pro.
But you talk as if you are.
If that's the case,
you got a white belt.
Well, there is that. You got that right.
Might as well just be a pro.
Well,
I mean,
probably could be, but I work for a living and I can't play.
Yeah, but you play a lot.
I'm a weekend golfer, is what I am.
More than me.
I'm a weekend golfer.
Yeah, Pledge rolls out of bed, hadn't played in 3 months, and shoots a 78.
Well, I've seen Pledge. He doesn't hit every shot perfect.
No,
I've seen him be pretty wild on occasion.
He recovers well, though.
Well, we'll see. I'm going in open-minded. I'm up for a little competition. I'm not afraid of it.
No, it's going to be. But look, I'm not in this competition. I'm there for the entertainment.
Well, what I love is Minix and Rob will just drop their ball between Pledge and I at wherever the best drive is.
Well, is there a better way to do it?
Playing in a scramble.
You want to be done in 5 hours or 8?
Exactly.
Do you really want me to play every one of my shots and go find every ball that I send out into the
the Netherlands. Yeah. No, I don't actually. So yeah, y'all do that.
You guys play and I play best ball. It works.
Well, and so does Thompson.
Yeah.
Because
we're there for a good time.
Uh-huh.
We're not serious golfers, nor do we like rules.
I'm there for a good time too, but I
you
want to
are
play some decent golf.
You and Pledge are playing serious golf, and me and Rob are there to heckle. And
perfect.
And keep score.
Perfect.
Now, again, are we going to have anything more on this between you and Pledge than bragging rights? Because I know Rob and I will have side bets.
If that's the case, I'm going to need some shots.
What do you mean?
And I don't mean alcohol shots.
We'll get you some Fireball.
No, I wasn't talking about
What do you need shots for? You say you're going to beat me. Why am I going to give somebody shots that claims they can beat me anyway?
Well, that's a good point. You know what? I don't want any shots.
There we go.
I don't. I'm good.
All right.
Well, we'll think about it. Before we tee off tomorrow, we'll have a little something.
So, Pledge, what I'm hearing is you're going to have to propose the bet.
No.
Whatever you want to put on the line, whether it's a beer bet or cash or beer or cash. Well, we're not going to do anything knucklehead. It's not like, the loser has to shave their face.
Slap bet.
No. Shave their face. That'd be a great excuse for me to do that.
Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to get rid of that thing, but I know your wife likes it. And I know you wouldn't bet shaving your head.
No, won't do that.
Now, Sam says loser has to wear the wiener hat for the duration of the show. See, Pledge would, but he's not on camera, and there's no way Joe will put that on his head.
Well, Pledge would do it out in public. So that's not a loss for him.
I'll wear it Saturday.
Oh, yeah, please do. You can wear that hat Saturday, Pledge. You going to say anything?
Where'd it go?
It's on my desk, I think.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it is. Well, here's the problem, and Eric Bishop says a six-pack. But there will be beer purchased on tomorrow, right? And I'm sure that I will purchase some of that beer.
Well, we'll all have rounds, but your take-home beers. Eric says buy a six-pack. I think it should be
I don't know if Flight comes in six-packs.
Well, let's go 12 packs. But I mean, is it a pack per stroke?
No.
Why not?
Per stroke?
Sure.
I don't want Pledge to have to dole out that kind of money. Jeez.
I mean, it could always be beer per 9 and then total, or money. So you could do like $10 the front 9, $10 back 9, and $10 for the
What are we doing, like
overall.
match? Are we doing like match play or we stroke play? What?
No, like just per side. Like if I win the front side, 39-41, I win the front side. And if you win the back side,
I appreciate it, Eric.
it goes even, but then whoever has the overall wins that side too. So it's like 3 separate bets almost.
So,
see, I know what you're thinking is Joe, after when he gets to the back 9, is going to be so schnockered he's not going to be able to hit the ball anyway. I see what you're trying to do there. You're trying to get a couple extra cases of beer out of Ryan.
There would be nobody mentioned cases of anything.
Oh, what did we say, 12s?
I'm going with Eric with the 6-pack, so we could be.
Well, and
6,
Eric says
12,
he's trying
18.
to save you money because I think we know where Eric would put his money on this.
And I appreciate that, Eric, very much. I don't know if Eric's ever seen Pledge play golf. All Pledge is he's talk. He's talk. I'm a pro. I used to do this. I can play. We'll see. We'll come up with something. Beers.
We need some Michael Jackson going on in the background here because the amount of moonwalking that we're hearing.
It could be like I tell you what, Pledge.
Here we go.
18 holes for a hat in the pro shop. How about that? Fair enough. There. Boom. That work for you?
Did you see Jimenez's comment?
No.
So wait, we went from an unlimited amount of beer potentially to a hat in the pro shop.
I think that's cool. It lasts longer than beer anyway, right? There you go.
All right.
Hey, you fit a hat in the pro shop, what, about $30?
Yeah,
It's
probably.
about the same thing. Or we play for there's a white belt in that pro shop. I saw it on Monday.
Yeah, it's still going to be there because nobody wants that thing.
Well, there you go.
So a white belt and a hat.
Dude.
A belt might not be in either of our sizes.
I'm trying to win you some more accessories, Joe.
I think a nice hat of the winner's choice. Sounds fair to me, doesn't it?
Nice bet coming in from David Macias.
I see. Now, David Macias says if Pledge has the best score, I'll donate $50 to the Brighton Center.
Well, David, why don't you just donate $300 and buy a ticket to Taste of the North Side?
And save $50 on that when you use code Blitz50 at checkout. You get that ticket for $250. But, David, I expect that donation either way.
Absolutely. That's cool, David. Very nice.
You know, Pete's raising the stakes. There's a belt, a hat, and a 12-pack.
A belt, a hat, and a 12-pack. Well, you know, all these people on YouTube are great at spending Pledge's money.
They really are.
They really are.
Jeez.
They really are.
Wow. Y'all are spending Pledge's money pretty freely. How about you guys donate that to the winner? How about that, Pete?
Wow.
We'll tell you who wins, and you can donate a hat and a belt and a 12-pack.
Just getting real defensive about all the bets being
I'm
placed.
just saying.
His confidence level is high.
This turned into a good time. Now we're getting serious, and I mean, if we're,
It's still a good time.
I may not have to have a drink at all.
You can't play sober golf.
I can play sober golf. You can't.
When's the last sober round you played?
What define sober, Pledge?
No alcohol at all. Playing 18 holes.
It's been a long time.
High school?
Maybe.
Not even that. I can tell you the last time I did was 2007 or 8 when I was working at KLUP in KSLR, the Christian radio station golf tournament.
Yeah.
They had no alcohol. And you couldn't drink. It was awful.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. I played with a preacher one time. But we didn't let that stop us. We still and he had his son with him. His son, I was embarrassed by the words he was saying.
Golf Club of Texas.
That's absolutely true.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Hey,
it's going to be a great time.
Gallery is welcome.
Is it?
Sure.
You know, we had that one dude show up one time trying to videotape. It's not really welcome.
All right, it's not. We'll
No.
let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. All right? Good competition. May the best man win. One thing we do know, Pledge, is that we're going to kick Rob and Jason's ass.
Be happy with
we
that.
We know that.
Yeah, be happy. I mean, that's like beating up Brad Williams. I mean, come on.
I don't know. He's about ball level.
He'll kick you in the shin.
Hey, if he gets that first shot, you may go down quick.
Dude, last night we take a picture with Brad Williams. And Joe sits down and says, Mal, you're the tallest one in the photo. And Brad says, well, Jason needs the ego boost. I'm here for it.
Exactly right. Minix, there was a chair for you there,
There
too.
wasn't. There wasn't a chair on that
There
side.
wasn't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Minix, if you see that picture on our Instagram page, you know that Minix was the tallest one in the picture.
I don't have that experience very often. I enjoyed every moment of that. See, your wife did the same. My wife at least kind of hunkered down to his level. His only rule when you're taking pictures with him is you can't pick him up. You can't hold him like a baby. You can't pretend he's Lion King. You can't pick him up. That's his only rule.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Is, gadget juice.
He was a funny guy. If you ever get a chance to go see Brad Williams, I recommend it highly. The guy is funny as hell.
Yes, he is. You going to tell us about the Golf Club of Texas?
And he's not politically correct either.
No, not at all.
I love that.
Not at all.
Fantastic. Oh, is that what you were trying to get me to do?
Yeah, I've been trying to set you up for this commercial for like 8 minutes.
Well, see, the Golf Club of Texas is like my home course. So I know every break, every blade of grass, every rock, everything that's out there. And you should too. I tell you what, this should be your go-to golf course. It is fantastic. And, you know, we had our golf tournament out there, and the improvements they've made to that golf course are just absolutely fantastic. Not only do they have brand new cart paths all over the golf course, they've resodded all over the place as well, and they've got these xeriscape areas that just add beauty to this golf course. It's fantastic, and I'll tell you what, it's in great shape. Great shape. I can't wait to get out there and play tomorrow. It's fantastic, and you should go as well. Look, the best rates are always online. It's really simple to do. All you got to do is go to golfclubtexas.com. golfclubtexas.com. You can make your tee time there and get all the stuff done that you need to do. Make sure that either before or after you round, though, you get into the Tin Cup Bar and Grill, because the food in there is fantastic. They've got beer on draft, beer in cans. They've got it all over the place, plus any kind of alcoholic beverage that you want. It is a full bar, and it's a great place. That bar is fantastic in there. It's awesome. So it's a great place, and the best part about that is you don't have to take out a loan to go in there. This place is the food is fantastic, and it won't break the bank. It's awesome. It is the Golf Club of Texas, and you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road, off Highway 90. Whether you're going for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, your next tournament, go check them out. Best rates, again, always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the NBA playoffs in full swing. We'll catch you up on everything you missed.
And it's finally here. NFL Draft Week is upon us. We'll get into who's trending up, who's trending down. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Munix. Glad to have you along here on Good Friday.
It is Good Friday, and happy Easter, everybody.
Hopefully you're not working.
I hope not. Nobody else in this building is working but the three of us.
No, but wherever you are listening.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, we're here working. Clearly we're working. We're at work.
We're at work. I'm not sure you can call this work.
We say that daily, though.
Yeah, we do.
We say that daily.
We appreciate you spending your Good Friday with us.
Absolutely. Maybe you might be over a barbecue pit right now, or
maybe
getting some meats ready to go for the weekend.
Wow.
You know, in line trying to get some camping spots. All kinds of different things people could be doing.
Dude, I bet if you were on a camping spot, you have to camp out like Monday. I always remember those people like chaining stuff to the picnic tables or whatever. Do they still do that?
Well, there's a curfew that I think gets lifted at some point.
Ah, okay. All right.
It's been a while since I've watched local news, so I don't really know what's up with that from that standpoint. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
You know, dead air. I was always taught that's a bad thing.
Well, it really is. I thought you were still talking. Like, all right, okay. All right, well, let's talk draft. A week away, a week from today, we're going to know who the Cowboys took in the first round.
Yes.
And we fully expect that player to be on the Blitz next Friday afternoon.
Yes, we always get that.
Happens every year.
Yep.
This year, no different. You know, I'm trying to think. One year there was a little delay in getting Zeke on because of weather, and his flight was delayed forever. But outside of that, we always get the first-round pick on. Always fun conversations, whether we're up in Dallas or over the phone, which it's been the last couple of years, which is what will be next Friday. The question is, who are we going to talk to? Is it going to be a wide receiver, maybe one from Austin, or will it be a running back? That's what I expect. Now, I did see A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle put a video out on our Instagram page at SA Sports Star where he said, forget the shiny object. You need a fat guy. I could not disagree more with A.J. Hoffman on that. The Cowboys have already spent a lot of picks on their offensive line. Granted, the right side, Terrence Steele, Hoffman, no relation to A.J., questionable, but the center on have been high draft picks. You got 2 first-round picks on the left side, and your center was a third-rounder last year. And I think Cooper Beebe is a prime example of you can find a quality lineman later in the draft. The Cowboys need some weapons for Dak Prescott. That's what they need to do with that number 12 pick.
Well, look, and I think the Cowboys will draft some linemen. I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, they've got a lot of picks. I think 10 total. So they're going to draft some linemen. It's just not going to be in the first couple of rounds, and I'm okay with that because there are some questions. Tyler Guyton, his rookie year wasn't exactly all that great, so he's got to improve. Hopefully Terrence Steele improves. But having said all of that, I agree with you. I think that they've got to go and get some weapons for a number of reasons. Number one, for Dak Prescott. And number two, wide receiver-wise, they need to help C.D. Lamb because he is – I mean, he's the guy. You focus on him, and there's nobody else that the defense has to worry about. So you go out and get yourself a wide receiver. I think that they've set themselves up pretty well at running back, but I still think that that's a need as well. It's a good running back draft. But, look, I love that Javonte Williams that they got from Denver. I honestly think this guy just might turn into your guy. It's very possible. He's certainly going to compete for that. So I think he's I think you got a diamond in the rough there. I really do. Having said all of that, you still need another running back. I would like to see them go get one. And then you start working on cornerback, defensive lineman, offensive lineman. I think you can find that in the later rounds. Get a couple of weapons early on.
Now, if like USA Today's mock draft today has Hampton, and I certainly wouldn't be mad at that. But at the same time, I think as deep as this running back class is, you don't need to go first round, especially with some of the receivers that should still be sitting there with that 12 pick, assuming the Cowboys stay at 12. And even if they slid down a couple of spots, some of these receivers are going to be there. Now, the McMillan kid out of Arizona has had a lot of talk, but I don't know. After seeing that one interview he did where he talked about not watching film and not loving football, I don't know that I can spend a high first-round pick. At the same time, the ESPN today does a mock draft where they go, Phil's big need, best value. Now, on the vast majority of teams, they've got 2 different guys. Some it's the same, but for the most part, there's 2 different guys. Phil's a big need or best value. For the Dallas Cowboys at number 12, ESPN has Matthew Golden from Texas, both filling the big need and getting the best value to be the wide receiver 2 opposite of CeeDee Lamb.
It makes sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way they go. Look, Jerry loves this guy. I think, and I think Golden likes or wouldn't mind being in Dallas either. Keeps him in the state of Texas, but I wouldn't be mad at that. The other kid, I think McMillan, that concerns me. It's a Kyler Murray situation in a lot of ways. And you wouldn't want to have to deal with that, but man, he looks like the prototype wide receiver that would be perfect opposite of CeeDee Lamb. So either way, I think you're getting a good pick there if that's the way you decide to go. Boy, that McMillan kid. I wish he wouldn't have said that because I think he just looks the part.
Well, he does, and he's probably the best wide receiver in this draft class, depending on how you rank Travis Hunter. But Travis Hunter's just such a freak athlete. If you're going true wide receiver, I don't know that Travis Hunter's the best receiver or the best defensive back, but he's just an incredibly talented player. But McMillan, by most draft boards, is listed as the number 1 wide receiver, which makes you wonder if he'd even be there at number 12. But you look at Golden, and you mentioned Jerry loves him. Yeah, he was on with Kay Adams, and Jerry being Jerry, this is a great story.
I mean, that's Jerry Jones. You know, he kind of legendary, you know what I'm saying? So, great guy, you know. I had the opportunity to meet him, but just being there, being able to meet Jerry, you know, it was cool. It was a cool moment for me.
Everybody's told me their Jerry story. Ashton, everyone's told what happened? What happened in that meeting?
He told me to call my mom, so I FaceTimed her. I think
Alicia?
He told me to call my mom, so I ended up calling her, FaceTimed her. I was like, I got a surprise for you, and Coach Jerry was talking to her.
Coach Jerry. I love that.
Yeah,
I like Coach Jerry.
I call him Coach Jerry. Yeah.
What did he say to your mom?
He was just talking to her, you know, just telling her she raised a great young man. You know, all the hard work paid off, and she did a tremendous job with me.
See, that's cool. And the fact, and I don't know if Jerry does that with all the visits that he has, but I think that's cool. And you talk about going a long way, and you just listen to Matthew Golden's voice there. I mean, he loves Jerry Jones. All the players love Jerry Jones because that's the way he treats the players. He treats them like family. And that goes a long way with a guy like Golden who, I mean, obviously he loves his mom, and you give her a treat like that, she was probably thrilled that Jerry Jones wanted to talk to her. And so I think it's fantastic.
The Jerry being Jerry, Coach Jerry. That's a good politically correct move by Golden to make Jerry smile. You call him Coach Jerry. Yeah, a lot of people call him Mr. Jones.
Yep.
Coach Jerry's got a different ring to it. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be an interesting weekend as well as the playoffs officially get underway tomorrow. A couple of play-in games tonight. Tomorrow you get the real thing. So you want to add more excitement to watching the playoffs, make sure you download the Underdog app, one of the leading sports apps out there, and they've got a new basketball playoff extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. You start a playoff series using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. You're hoping for 6-7 games in these series. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Love playing the pick'em game where all you have to do is choose higher or lower on predicted stats. Play for as little as $1, win up to 1,000 times your money. So download the Underdog app. Sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, use promo code STAR at Underdog.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
This Entertainment Insider is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Actors Jake Gyllenhaal and Denzel Washington are in the new production of Othello, and their relationship goes way beyond acting.
He has a good heart. I love him. I love him like a brother.
I feel tremendous gratitude, and he makes me feel it when I walk in that rehearsal room every day. And he's incredible.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
What is the big news of the day? And it involves San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich. TMZ first reported that he left the local restaurant in an ambulance Tuesday night after officials say they received a call for an elderly person who had fainted while eating dinner. He was reportedly alert and talking, and according to TMZ, well, he is home and doing just fine. We got basketball tonight. Atlanta, they'll take on Miami, Memphis, Dallas.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Well, if you had to work today and you get off at 5 o'clock, congratulations. Your weekend has begun.
It really has.
It has.
Easter weekend is here. It's Good Friday. Got a big golf match coming up tomorrow.
We do, don't we? I'm looking forward to that, excited about it. Ready to go play some golf. You know, we had to watch everybody play on Monday when we had our golf tournament out at the Golf Club of Texas. So we decided that we wanted to play.
Yes.
So we're going to do that.
Now, if you are just getting off work, the big news of the day was the reports that Tuesday night, Greg Popovich had a medical episode at a local steakhouse. We've learned that's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse over off Jones Maltzberger. Tuesday night, TMZ at 1:53 this afternoon reported that Pop was at a dinner, was apparently at the restaurant for a couple hours before he fainted and passed out. Ambulance was called, and he was taken to the hospital. So, and the fact that nobody knew about this until TMZ. No local story, not even Shams. Shams, he broke his news after TMZ did. And the fact that TMZ wrote in their article, they had tried to reach the Spurs for comment for 3 days.
3 days. I mean, that's incredible, right? So they sat on this story for 3 days, I'm sure trying to do their due diligence and make sure that it was accurate. And they didn't get any help, obviously, from the Spurs in that regard. But so they finally released it today. And I tell you, the biggest surprise here, and I can say all of this now because Pop is fine. We've been told he's at home. He's doing fine. That's the good news, and I'm happy about that. But we can say this now. Not one person in this city that I'm aware of knew about this. And I'm talking about a lot of so-called insiders around here knew about it, including Sham Charania, which is just baffling that this story sat untold for 3 days.
Now, there is video. People in the restaurant, the EMS, hospital people, and they kept it under wraps. And credit to the medical people for keeping it under wraps. But I'm surprised that nobody from the restaurant or whoever took that video, if they were just trying to sell it to TMZ, but the fact that they didn't contact us or a local TV station or Jeff or Tom or Mike Finger over at the Express News, it is surprising that everybody was blindsided by this TMZ report in the local media. The Spurs did give us an official comment, which was no comment, as the official comment. San Antonio Fire Department's public information officer texted me in a report, and I've tweeted it. SAFD responded to 7720 Jones Maltzberger, Ruth Chris, for a report of an approximate 80-year-old patient who had fainted. The patient was transported priority 2 to the hospital as a precaution. Priority 2 is non-life-threatening illness or injury. Now, we have, glad he's doing well, but there was enough concern there for them to transport. There's times where if you pass out, EMS is called, they'll check you out. Maybe by the time they get there, you're feeling better and you're able to go home on your own and go see your own doctor the next day. So the level of concern was enough that they did transport him, but at the same time, non-life-threatening, and, by all reports now, he's at home and he's resting.
And that's the good news. And obviously, when you're talking about basketball and everything else, that's secondary. The fact that Pop is okay and he's home, that's what's important here. And so I'm happy about that. But it is concerning that this happened to him while he was eating dinner. And what does that mean for the future of the head coaching position in San Antonio? It has to become a topic, does it not? After Pop suffers a stroke, the players, when they met with him, showed some true concern about the way he looked. And then you've got this incident on Tuesday night. So I think it is fair, and I think it's only right that Spurs fans now think about, because it does not appear, at least at this point in time, that Greg Popovich is going to be the head coach of the Spurs as we move forward.
Well, and again, you look at the TMZ article, I'm reading verbatim. Our sources tell us Popovich appeared to still be dealing with the effects of the mild stroke he suffered in early November while at the establishment. Was there for close to 2 hours before suffering the medical emergency. And you go back around the All-Star break, there were reports that he was trying to come back and coach the last half of the season. And I do think after the blood clots with Wemby shutting him down, no point of doing that. But you almost wonder now, because I think that gave us false hope that he was doing better. So it made sense, well, there's no point of coming back now because they're destined for the lottery. But even when the players talked about his meeting with the team, he wasn't there yet. And not to sound insensitive, but dealing in reality, we've all questioned whether or not after that, could he handle the day-to-day coaching schedule, 82 regular season games, hopefully a long playoff run, all the travel, coming back off the stroke. And then you see this, and the Spurs need to know this is such an important offseason. They've got to make a decision, or Pop has to make a decision sooner rather than later. Now, granted, that decision might already be made, and the ones that need to know within the Spurs organization, they might already know. But nothing has been said publicly, and no official statement. What I'm kind of hoping at this point, retire from coaching and stay in the front office.
Which would be ideal. And look, Pop knows. Okay, Pop, he's been doing this a long time. He knows what's at stake this offseason. He knows, and he knows whether he can do this or not. And that's the most important thing. And he cares too much about this franchise to let this linger on and not let them get something done in plenty of time to make a difference. I mean, quite honestly, I really hope that Pop hangs around in the front office I don't know what his position would be, but it doesn't really matter as long as he's there. and he's helping make some of the decisions that need to be made. So because it's important for this franchise moving forward, especially when you look at the play-in games tonight and what could be at stake. If Atlanta and Miami win tonight, am I right about not Miami because they play each other? If Atlanta beats Miami and Dallas beats Memphis, that gives the Spurs the best opportunity and the best lottery odds, I suppose, of anything. So you want to root for Miami tonight, and you want to root for Dallas.
Yeah, definitely. And again, if you just can't bring yourself to root for Dallas, just root against Memphis. And John Morant's still listed as a game-time decision. And you just wonder how effective, even if he does play, how he will be after turning that ankle the other night. Because he certainly wasn't the same when he came back into that game. Give him credit for coming back in. A lot of times that's adrenaline. You take that shoe off and it balloons up, and now you gotta try to go. It's going to be awful tough for Memphis tonight regardless.
No doubt. The main thing is tonight, I mean, it'd be a cherry on top if Dallas wins, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Atlanta needs to lose for sure.
Well, and again, if you look at, and Bobby Marks tweeted out a deal earlier, if Miami and Dallas both win tonight, you're either going to be picking 12th or 13th with that Atlanta pick. If Miami and Memphis win tonight, it's 13 or 14. If Atlanta wins, yeah.
Yeah, then it's not good.
No.
That's the main
go
thing.
Heat.
Yep, go Eric Spoelstra. Get those guys ready to go.
Exactly. We'll talk some Cowboys coming up. John Machota from The Athletic will join us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. If you need caps done, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom. And he's got all the popular cap brands, Katie Caps, Nike Cap America, the Richardson 112 style trucker caps. If you need T-shirts, screen printed, go see Sam. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt. Sam has his entire spring line on display right now in his showroom with all the big name brands. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices, and Sammy is the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround. No order too big, certainly no order too small. All items do come with the warranty, and he is open on Saturday, and it's 5/12 now. It's open tomorrow at noon, even though Easter's on Sunday. You need something done, get in and see him or call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or again, go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
The Morning Huddle.
Sam Stevens and Ryu Hasatune. What I did wasn't.
Yeah, no, that's not how you said it. You said.
And what did you say?
Hasatune.
See, you sound like you sneezed. Bless you.
You can't say that either. The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. 1 week from right now, we're going to know who the Dallas Cowboys took in the first round. And we'll be talking about who they're going to take in the second round because that's how it works. Let's talk about it. John Machota from The Athletic joining us now on the Buyers Barricades at guest line. Still loves the city of San Antonio despite a bad experience here. John, how's your Friday?
It's good. It's good. Yeah, I do still love the city. It's not their fault.
It was one hell of a game, John.
Yeah. I mean, I guess from one perspective, it could be that for sure. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's. I always think back to how many times coaches always talk about this. How you remember the losses way more than you remember like the big wins. And gut-wrenching losses like that, I'm telling you right now, you would rather just lose by 20 and just never be in the game than to have that good of a team and then to choke it away in the last minute and a half. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, you know, John, and I know you weren't on last Friday, so we haven't told you this awful story about that game. You know, we're sitting there. We had been there all day. Yeah, there was no food. We were hungry, thirsty, needed a beer. And I don't know, about 10 minutes to go in the game, Ryan Engel says, anybody think Houston's going to win this thing? And we left. We left that game early. And I never leave early. And so we missed the incredible comeback by Houston.
We heard it on the radio, John.
Yeah, it sounded great on the radio. We were spot
I wish
checking.
I wish I would have missed it too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, brutal. Mock drafts all over the place. Everybody's hearing all kinds of things. We're a week away. What does your gut tell you? Next Friday, we're talking about what newest member of the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't see any reason to change off of wide receiver. And for me, I think Tetaroa and McMillan from Arizona makes the most sense. But, there's a lot of mock drafts that are saying Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas, who played at Houston as well. I just think that it lines up with what they need and what the best player available should be at 12. It just makes a lot of sense that it would be a wide receiver. But I also would not be surprised if they traded back. I mean, we've done that twice in the last 4 years, and it's worked out pretty well for them. And so I could see them being like, hey, we sat there at 12, and there are about 4 or 5 guys we like the same. We're going to move back 4 or 5 spots. And I think if that happens, then a lot of things are in play. Because if that happens, now you got either an additional third or an additional second-round pick. And so if that happens, then there's almost anything outside of probably safety and tight end are on the board. And, even an offensive lineman would be a possibility if that happens. So I'm going to say they stay at 12 and they take Tet McMillan. But with where they're at right now and how they could possibly use some extra picks to fill out this roster, I'm about 50-50 on them taking a pick there at 12 or them moving back.
Well, that'll be interesting, and I could see that happening too. Just stick with 12 and Tet McMillan. The guy just looks like a prototypical type wide receiver. He, to me, seems like the best guy, but then you watch an interview with him, and he says he really doesn't like football all that much. Does that concern you at all?
Yeah, it is a little bit concerning, but I would say that, I don't get to interview him in that type of environment like those coaches do and those scouts and other members of the team get to do. And I don't think the Cowboys would take somebody at 12 that they felt that way about. So, it would concern me if that is true and that isn't just like a one-off interview thing where he was just, trying to be funny or he was just, trying to be interesting in the interview or whatever. But I think that when you sit down with a player, you can figure that stuff out, like where those things are at. So yeah, if you sit down with them and you talk to people that are around him and you do your due diligence, and you find out that is the case of what you said and it is like that, then by all means, I wouldn't be interested at all. But I think that you get a better chance of doing that when you spend the money that these guys do, especially when you're talking about looking at their first round picks and all the information they try and gather before they make a first round pick. I would think that they will have looked in that deeply. So yes, if that is the case, and he isn't a guy that really loves it, he plays football because he happens to be good at it, then yeah, I'm not doing that at 12. So that's just too high of a pick for me to be taking a chance on someone who might not really care that much. But I can only judge off the player that I see and how I think that player would fit with an offense that already has CeeDee Lamb. If he goes to a different team, he might be asked to be the number one wide receiver from day one. He won't be asked that in Dallas. And so I think that's good for a young receiver. He won't have to feel like he has all this pressure on him. He can and he's not going to command the double teams that CeeDee Lamb's going to get. So I think it's a great situation for him.
Well, him or Golden, and I'll tell you as we visit with John Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz, that interview, and context is everything, and I get all that, but I'm doing more than just talking to the coaches about him. And I don't know if they're allowed to do this, but can I get a copy of his iPad and see actually how much film he has watched? Because we know they track all of that because the Johnny Manziel, Kyler Murray type vibes come off of this guy. And I'm with you at 12. I can't risk it. If a second round, sure. If and that interview might cost him sliding down because he probably is the best wide receiver in the group, although I don't think there's a huge gap between him and Golden.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just like the size. I think that's the thing that separates him, where you can see that even if some of the other parts of his game aren't as polished, you can see how a guy like that right away can come in and make an impact because of that size. That you just, especially in the red zone, throw the ball up to him, and more often than not, he's the one that's coming down with it. And obviously he hasn't played against what he'll see every day on Sunday, but he's played against good enough defensive backs and shown that he can still put up some pretty big production. So if all that other stuff checks out, and for first round picks, man, they're doing private investigators. They're doing the whole nine. They're not just talking to a couple coaches and saying, hey, we're good here. No, these teams go and they do a lot of deep background work on a lot of these guys. And I mean, as they should. I mean, it's a huge investment in that. So I think that they're going to have a great feel, and they probably already do, on where his love for football is. And so if they're wavering on that, again, I think that at 12 there could be a good possibility that it's one of those things where they like 4 or 5 guys at 12. So why not move back 3 or 4 spots and still get one of them, and then you also get that additional second or third round pick, and obviously that's what they did last year with Tyler Guyton, and then getting Cooper Beebe in the third.
John, I've got to ask you, because we had some Matthew Golden sound from an appearance on the Kay Adams show, and he's talking about Jerry calling his mother. And to me, I think it's why the players love Jerry Jones. When he brings players in for visits like that, is that kind of typical Jerry Jones, or was that unique to Matthew Golden?
No, it sounds like it's a new thing this year that he's doing a lot more of, just judging by Stephen Jones was on the radio here on Tuesday, and he was talking about that, about Jerry talking to some of these 30-visit players' moms, having them give him a call and stuff like that. So and I'm not saying he hasn't done it in the past, but it sounds like that's like a new thing this year where he's doing it, trying to do it with as many players as possible. And so, yeah, that is a Jerry thing. I'm sure that, the mom gets a kick out of it because, I mean, I'm not saying that they might not know a ton about Jerry Jones, but he is pretty famous. And so, but then it's also a chance to kind of find out a little bit about the player, while they're talking, to their mom right in front of them. So who knows? We'll see how that goes. I mean, typically, for the most part, the Cowboys over the last 10, 15 years, those 30 visits have usually been the guys they've targeted early on. But then there's obviously been cases where they weren't 30 visitors. CeeDee Lamb wasn't one, and that's obviously worked out well. Morris Claiborne wasn't, and that didn't work out as well.
It is interesting. And the other part of the Matthew Golden interview with Kay Adams is he calls him Coach Jerry. A lot of people call him Mr. Jones. I think Old Matthew is being very politically motivated there to inflate Jerry's ego. Like, hey, I like this guy. He's calling me Coach.
Yeah, it could be, but I will say you listen to a lot of that audio right after players get drafted, and when the phone gets handed to Jerry, there are a lot of times where guys will call him Coach. I don't know if it's because they're nervous or they just I don't know. I just think for us it's funny because we obviously have been around and know Jerry better than these players do because they're young, so they don't know the whole history of like how. It certainly seems like Jerry would like to be the coach, and he does things that make him want to be the coach and stuff. So it is funny when players say that because I'm sure Jerry gets a kick out of it.
All right, so, John, we get a wide receiver in the first round. I've seen a lot of mock drafts. Some say corner in the second. Others say running back. What do you say?
I think running back makes the most sense because of the fact that I do think there's a gap between the runners that could be there and then the runners that could be there in the third. And that's the thing, like you don't want to be on the end of a run on these running backs like they've been in years past, and then you don't end up with anything. And so I would be saying right now you target running back, and then if you get wiped out, let's say, 3 of the top 6 picks in the second round are all running backs, and you don't love those guys at 2, then I think that's where corner then comes into play. But I just think that there's going to be a good running back there, and I think that'll be hard to pass up on. And you just look at what they've done in the offseason. I mean, for them to go wide receiver running back with their first 2 picks, I don't think anybody should have a problem with that. I mean, they need help on offense. They need playmakers on offense. I don't think that would be a reach to do either one of those. But I also wouldn't hate the idea of corner because to me that's right in there. Those top 3 needs is corner. And it's funny with the Cowboys too because when you say you look at these mock drafts, a lot of times the websites will put in there like team's biggest needs, and for Cowboys, it'll be like running back, cornerback, wide receiver. Well, for the Cowboys, it's really not wide receiver. It's wide receiver 2. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. They're not trying to, it's not like they need a wide receiver. Like, hey, they don't get one in the first round, then they might in the 3rd, 4th. No, they got enough guys that can be the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th receiver. They got their number 1 receiver. They just need a wide receiver 2. And you look at the 4 guys they brought in at wide receiver for their 30 visits, they're all those 4 guys, the 2 that we just said in Golden and McMillan, and then it's Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State, and then Luther Burden. Those are guys that I don't think any of those 4 would even be there in the second round, but they're all going to be gone within the top 50 picks, probably at the latest. And after they're gone, like, I don't see them having any interest in wide receiver after that. That would be one of those, if they don't get one of those guys, then they probably got to try and make a move between now and the start of the season to try and maybe, add somebody to that wide receiver group. But I don't see them missing out on one of those receivers and being like, oh, we got to take one in the fifth now. No, they have plenty of depth at wide receiver. They just need a number 2.
Absolutely. John Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz. And you mentioned it, wide receiver 2, running back, cornerback. Although I'm seeing a lot of mock drafts looking for a tight end. I've seen a couple that have them taking Tyler Warren, which would surprise me if they did that in the first round, unless some of these mock draft guys that are putting it together are hearing that the Cowboys are ready to move on from Jake Ferguson. If they've already decided they're not going to sign Jake, maybe they are looking for a replacement for him. Have you heard anything about the future of Jake Ferguson outside of his engagement to one of the Cavender twins?
I have not, no. But from the people I talk to, they speak very highly of that tight end room. And so it's not just Jake. It's what they still think that Schoonmaker can be. It's the upside they see in a guy like Princeton Fant, Brevin Spann-Ford. They really like what he did a year ago. And then obviously John Stevens, who's missed the last 2 years with injuries. Like, they really do like that room. So to your point, and I feel this way about a lot of picks, is that who they pick at these different spots will tell you a lot about how they feel about the roster. You don't take Tyler Warren if you think that you have this great tight end room, and it's the same thing where, another one of those trade back scenarios could potentially be the kid from Alabama, Jihad Campbell, who's an off the ball linebacker. Well, you're not taking an off the ball linebacker there or an off the ball linebacker in the second round if you think DeMarvion Overshown is going to be 100% and back to the player he was. And no, if you take a linebacker there, it makes me think, okay, well, they must have some questions about that player, and so it'll be interesting to see. I don't believe that they'll take a tight end. I don't believe that they'll take a safety. Malachi Starks from Georgia is probably the top safety in this draft, and they just have not valued safety like that. So those two positions in quarterback, I've kind of just eliminated from that. But every other one, I mean, I especially in a trade back scenario, I think anything from offensive line, defensive line, the way wide receiver, corner, running backs all in play.
John, let me ask you about going back to wide receiver. You said we need Cowboys need a second, and I agree with you. When is it time, though, like a Jalen Tolbert? What do the Cowboys think of him? And obviously they went out and got Jonathan Mingo. Are these guys just projects? Well, Tolbert's been around, so they kind of know what they have with him. Are they still high on him, or is he treading on thin ice?
I don't think he's treading on thin ice. I mean, each year he's improved. He led the team in touchdown catches last year with 7. So I just think that, when they draft him in the third round, they're hoping he can be a 2, and he's probably not a 2, but I think he can certainly be their 3. He's got a good relationship with Dak. I mean, everywhere Dak goes, you see Jalen Tolbert with him wherever Dak's throwing and things like that. I mean, they have and that was the case last offseason too. And so I just think that the consistency isn't there. He has some games, like if you go back to that Pittsburgh game, like when he had the game-winning touchdown, where you're just like, yeah, this guy can perform like a number 2, but it's just not consistent enough for you to count on him like a number 2. And so I don't think that they've closed the door on him or anything. Like, I think that they think he can still take another step. And if he does that, then I think that they're excellent at 3, because it's not really just a number 3, because they're going to mix in Mingo. He's going to be on the roster, and so is Kevontae Turpin. So it's like they already have between CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, Turpin, and Mingo. Those 4 guys are on the roster. They didn't trade a 4th last year for Mingo to cut him. Like, he's going to be on the roster. They just gave Kevontae Turpin a new contract to be more than just a returner. He's going to be in that wide receiver room. So you already have a group there, and then you're just going to leave it for Jalen Brooks and Paris Campbell and some of these other guys to fight for that last receiver spot. But I think they're fine. I really do. I think they're great at 1, and I think that they're fine at 3, 4, and 5. It just, they have to find that number 2 guy to replace, the production that they got from Brandon Cooks, and then obviously before that from Amari Cooper.
John, are the Cowboys planning any media availability next week with either Steve and Jerry or Will McClay?
Yeah, Tuesday. I don't have the exact time yet, but it'll probably be similar time to what that Tyron Smith press conference was this week, probably around noon, 1 o'clock. But, yeah, they're going to have something Tuesday at the Star, the typical, pre-draft, press conference. I know some teams have them this week, but the Cowboys the last few years have been doing them like the week of the draft. So, yeah, no, they'll definitely have Jerry and Steven available. That's why Jerry and Steven didn't take any questions after Tyron Smith's press conference because, like they did after the Zach Martin one, because they knew that they were going to meet with us, early next week.
That's what I was wondering, because I didn't hear anything about anything other than Tyron Smith the other day, so I was figuring something was up, although we haven't heard anything officially for getting them on with us.
Yeah, I'm just curious, John. OTAs this week. Did you learn anything out of that, or what really went on this week?
Yeah, it's not technically OTAs. It's still just, they call them, they're still just voluntary workouts. So, being there for the Tyron Smith press conference, there's several guys that were there that because they were working out and stuff. So I mean, the Cowboys have been known to have good turnouts for those things, and so obviously the key thing is that Micah Parsons has been there, and he was there on, I think it was Tuesday, that for the Tyron Smith press conference, and he's been working out with the team. Obviously that's a part of what the Cowboys want with the him getting this new contract when he does get it, is they want him to take on more of a leadership role on that defensive side of the ball, and so that's probably been the biggest thing. But other than that, no, there's not anything like big that's come of that. Obviously Dak's there. So I mean, yeah, it's been good attendance, but it's not anything that's mandatory or anything where the coaches are involved yet.
John Machota from The Athletic. Make sure you subscribe to The Athletic. Follow John on Twitter at John Machota, especially in this next week, because it's going to be busy and fun. John, next Friday we're talking about who that first-round pick is and what we're thinking for the second round. So can't wait for next week. It's finally draft time.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. You know what would be even better? I did a mock draft where I had this scenario where they took Ted McMillan at 12, and then in the second round, they ended up trading their second and third to get back in the first and got Omarion Hampton. So, yeah, they didn't have a second or third round pick, but you walk out of there after day one with Ted McMillan and Omarion Hampton, wide receiver, running back, boom, fix. I mean, they need to get me in this war room.
Love your crystal ball.
Is Nick Caserio the GM now or what?
Hey, I mean, I know that some people would hate it, but there's a part of me that I'm like, man, I would be kind of interested in that. I don't think they'll do that, though. I think, if anything, they're going to be trying to move back and gain more picks.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to get aggressive. It's kind of like the idea of moving all the way up to 2 to get Travis Hunter. Sounds fun, ain't going to happen.
No.
But I like the way you're thinking, John.
Yeah, hey, for the training camp aspect, there's nobody I would love more for them to trade up for than Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
Just
no
for
kidding.
all the content from Oxnard, I would love that very much.
Absolutely. John, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Appreciate it. John Machota from The Athletic on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to the draft, man. I really am. It's going to be a long 3 days next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as we approach Thursday. Can't wait for it.
Just waiting. Rumor.
Yep.
Next Thursday, the Blitz live out at the Rue Pub at 281 in Redland Road is we'll throw our own draft party. I like what John said there. I don't see it happening, but that'd
be fantastic.
Really, really cool. It'd almost be cool, like winning Oyster Bake tickets.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. Now, I don't know if these are Friday or Saturday, but they are tickets, and they are free, and they are yours. If you're caller number 12, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, caller 12, you win a pair of tickets to Oyster Bake.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the NBA playoffs in full swing. We'll catch you up on everything you missed.
And it's finally here. NFL Draft Week is upon us. We'll get into who's trending up, who's trending down. Morning Huddle, don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
When traveling to the coast, make sure you bring along the guys from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Good Friday.
Yes, it is a good Friday. And I hope you're having a great Friday.
It is. And look, if it's 5:42, if you've been, I don't know, under a rock, just getting off work, or you've been out smoking meats because you had the day off today and now you're inside, the big news of today, the fact that it was revealed, learned, reported by TMZ, the first to break the story at 1:53 this afternoon, that on Tuesday night, Greg Popovich suffered a medical incident at a local restaurant. Took to the hospital by ambulance. He's home now. No official comment from the Spurs, or the Spurs official comment is no comment. The TMZ article, very interesting. Pop was at Ruth's Chris over off of, although TMZ didn't have that, the fire department gave us that. They just said a local steakhouse. He'd been there about 2 hours. He was, according to sources and according to TMZ, appeared to still be dealing with the effects of the mild stroke suffered in November. And he passed out, fainted. Ambulance was called, and he was taken to the hospital.
Yeah, it's a scary situation, obviously. But he was just checked out, I think, from what we can gather, and then was sent home. So we do know he is at home and said to be doing fine. So that's the good news. Forget about everything else. Happy that Greg Popovich is doing well and he's at home, and I'm happy about that. That's really good because nobody wants anything. I mean, this guy's a legend.
He is a legend, and again, the fire department told me in a text that they did transport him priority to non-life-threatening illness or injury to the hospital as a precaution. Although my wife's a career ER nurse. I know a lot of people that are in the medical field, hospitals, nurses, ambulance. A lot of times ambulance comes, can check you out, and you can go home on your own. So it was bad enough to where they transported him. And TMZ reported he was alert and talking. My guess is probably saying, I don't want to go. But they said, no, we're going as a precaution. But the good news is he is doing well. The eerie part, if that's the right word. Now, again, this incident happened on Tuesday, April 15th. It is April 18th. Greg Popovich's wife passed away on this day, April 18th, in 2018.
Wow.
It's the 7-year anniversary of her passing.
Yes. Yes,
so,
it is.
It's just always kind of, how.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. And I'm sure he's very sad about that today, obviously.
That makes today even rougher.
Absolutely. Wish Greg Popovich all the best. Really do. And I know everybody out there does as well. So we'll see what happens with Greg Popovich, but certainly doesn't look like a good sign for him to continue coaching. But I don't know that for a fact, and the Spurs will figure all that out, and we'll wait for the announcement on that. But big games tonight, Jason, when you're talking about the play-in games, because it does affect the Spurs and how they will move forward with gathering new talent. Miami and Atlanta play. You need to root for the Heat. Need Atlanta to lose this game tonight. That would be good
Heatles
for the Spurs. And if you want to put a cherry on top, you need Dallas to beat Memphis.
That's the best scenario. Now, Miami definitely has to win tonight. It's better if Dallas wins, too, for the San Antonio Spurs. And then finally, tomorrow, the actual playoffs begin. And you look at the matchups this weekend. Let's start in the Eastern Conference. Cleveland is going to roll Miami because we're going to just speak Miami winning tonight into existence, but Cleveland will roll in that series. Boston, Orlando could be pretty good, but I expect Boston to roll in that series. Stop me if you disagree. Knicks Pistons, I think, could be a rather entertaining series, the 3-6 matchup in the East.
Do you trust the New York Knicks? I don't. I don't trust them at all. I'm just afraid Detroit may be a little inexperienced at this, and that may bother them. But I don't trust the New York Knicks. When have they ever overachieved or even lived up to expectations lately? It seems like it's been a while.
It's crazy on Get Up this morning with Alan Hahn, who covers the Knicks daily. All the improvements that Tibbs has done. The reality is he's on the hot seat.
Sure,
now, granted, I think every coach in New York is on the hot seat, even though you've made all these drastic improvements. But I'm with you. But in this series, I think the Knicks rather easily. Pacers, Bucks. Man, I would love to pick the Milwaukee Bucks. I just can't. Dame Lillard, while cleared to play, won't play in Game 1. And even if he is able to come back, he's been out a long time. I expect him to be a little rusty. I think his return is too little too late.
You could see a scenario where, depending on the schedule of the playoffs, and a lot of times teams get several days off in between games, where he comes back after when they come home for Game 3, and you get him back in some sort of basketball shape. But that remains to be seen. I find it fascinating, Jason, that Indiana's a 5.5-point favorite tomorrow. Denver is a 2.5-point favorite. The Knicks are a 7.5-point favorite, and the Lakers are a 4.5-point favorite. So nobody really is looking to blow anybody out. The Knicks, the biggest line there at 7.5. And I tell you what, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I like Detroit. I like Detroit, and I like them to win this series because, quite frankly, and that's going out on a limb a little bit, I just do not trust the Knicks. I don't trust them.
I do against Detroit, but that's it. In the West, Oak City, they're going to get Dallas. We'll speak that into existence.
All right.
And they'll roll. The Rockets, Warriors. I love all these first-round matchups in the West. All of them, you can make an argument going either way. Houston against Golden State, and I mean, Golden State's a 7th seed, but granted, will they just run out of gas? I think a lot of people are underrating Houston. I like Houston in this series, although I've seen some where Golden State's actually favored to win this series.
I think Golden State's, and I think we've seen it. And I love Steph Curry. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But they're getting old.
Yep.
They're just flat out getting old, and it shows. And if there's if this is a tough series and it goes 7 games, how much gas are the Warriors going to have? Their experience is second to none, and they got a hell of a lot more experience than the Rockets do. But still, I just think they're getting old, and Houston's a pretty damn good basketball team.
The L.A. teams will start the 3-seeded Lakers 3-6 matchup against the Timberwolves. I like the Lakers. I don't know what's happened to Minnesota this year. They did not take that next step this year.
Well, I like the Lakers as well, and I think the Lakers are that team that could find their way into the NBA Finals. I really do. I know you love Oklahoma City. I do too. But I just think that Lakers team with Luka Doncic, the way he plays in the playoffs, he steps his game up another level. Obviously, LeBron, that speaks for itself. And they've got some role players, one being Austin Reeves, who has just come on like gangbusters this year. I think they're going to overwhelm Minnesota, and I like the Lakers.
Nuggets, Clippers, the 4-5 matchup. I don't – until they fired Mike Malone, Nuggets. The Clippers is if that dude is I'm going to say healthy and actually plays in every game, they look like a team that could actually make a run to the NBA Finals. But do I really think that guy will play every game for 2 months? No.
I don't see how that happens either, although he has been playing well. I have to give him that. But I'm going to be the biggest Denver Nugget fan you ever saw for the first round of the NBA playoffs. Might go get some swag and wear it every day next week. And as long as this series is alive, go Nuggets.
Absolutely. Although, and then think about, a second-round matchup between the Thunder and either the Nuggets or the Clips. Lakers, Rockets in the second round. And that's where I look at the West playoffs are going to be so good. Cleveland could, I don't know, not be tested until the Eastern Conference Finals because Cleveland will get the Pacers-Bucks winner, the Pacers, in the second round. You know what I mean? It's just the Boston and Cleveland. Can we just fast forward to the Eastern Conference Finals already? Because that series will be great, but the rest of these are going to suck.
Well, the East is just – I don't know why the East remains just so much worse than the West. It's amazing to me. Boston obviously is Boston. They're a great team. Cleveland is good, and I'm just – because Donovan Mitchell's been a little bit dinged up, but he has been says he's full go. That's according to Cleveland.com. So he'll be ready to go, and that's good news for Cleveland. But, I like the Cavs. I mean, I like the Cavs. I like the way they play. They play, to me, as a team. I mean, they really do. They play good team basketball, and I like watching them play. But Boston, Cleveland, other than that,
No.
And,
maybe next year we're talking about the Spurs at this time of year.
I hope so.
Let's hope. Now,
I really do.
There is good news, I guess, today for the Spurs. Amongst all the pop news, a media poll is out with all the postseason awards. And Steph Castle, a runaway winner with Rookie of the Year.
That's the media awards, not obviously the official one. But I think he's going to get it. They also have Shai Gilgeous winning the MVP award in a close vote against the Joker. So that's interesting. The other one that the Spurs should have gotten is Defensive Player of the Year, but obviously Wemby didn't play enough games to qualify for that. So we'll see who picks up that award.
Play-in games tonight. Playoffs actually start tomorrow. And the two teams playing tonight, they're going to win and get on a plane and then go lose on Sunday. So it should be a lot of fun. Easter Sunday's coming up. Eat well, barbecue well.
Yeah, spend some time with family and friends. Hope you have a great Easter, everybody. Really do. Enjoy it.
And Monday on the show. Although, I don't know, pledge on social media when he wins. You might not have to wait till Monday. We're going to embargo the results of
I think we should.
The golf match until 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
Yeah, I think it is.
Tune in Monday.
Although
to find out,
one of those spies from the morning show will be on the golf course with us.
Rob?
Yeah.
Well, I think Rob. I mean, we can tell Rob what the rules are.
All right, we can do that.
That we're not announcing a winner.
You trust Rob?
I trust Rob with my life. Oh, to keep his mouth shut?
That's it. Now, I know you trust him with your life. I get it. I would do that, too. I'm just saying to keep his mouth shut. I'm just saying.
Have you met Rob Thompson?
Yes, I have.
I mean, the only thing you can hope is by the time Monday morning rolls around, he will have forgotten. Which is also a possibility.
Very distinct possibility.
Except for the promo that's probably going to run.
I'll get him drunk. He won't remember anything.
So it's going to be just like Monday.
Exactly. Going to be a fun day tomorrow, no doubt.
Absolutely. Pledge, Reinagel, head-to-head golf match.
Boom.
What do they call that when all the rich people get together, the match or whatever? Our version of it.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You know,
yeah, you do. Capital One's the match.
Yeah,
the match.
Yeah,
okay,
when
gotcha.
the famous
all right.
people go.
Yeah.
You know, instead we got Pledge and Reinagel.
The real golfers, you mean?
Yeah, real
gotcha.
golfers.
The real golfers.
Yeah, Minix Thompson.
Yeah.
The match. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Highest score wins. That's what we're going for. Extra
That'll
innings
be a
with
good match.
Pledge coming up. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Riding I-35 with the Blitz.